Oh yes, legends. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic today. Let's analyze the situation. Bitcoin finally getting above $95,000. Let's smash up the like button all together, guys, if you do enjoy the content. I'll be analyzing the situation here for the price of Bitcoin. Let's go. Let's say hello to everybody. We've got some news right now in the next minute, so we might get a little bit of volatility right now as we speak. And let's say hello to the beautiful community, of course. What a pump we had for Bitcoin. I have to say, if we do get a wick now on the news down here to this previous day value area high, daily point of control, it could be interesting unless it gets a big breakdown. But of course, we do have that support zone, previous day value area high, also very, very high volume node. We either shoot up from here with the volatility or maybe test this order block right over here. We got some support here, just wick the lows. It could be a little bit of a sniper trade. Let's see how that news kicks in right now. Not that it's massive news, but still we could get a little bit of volatility coming in here with the news coming in right now. Yeah, PPI right now coming in. Not that I would say there is massive news. It's probably going to be a big fat nothing burger. Who knows? But yeah, this is something that I would be interested at the moment, okay, to see if the price does come down to this region. We're going to analyze this structure. It does look more corrective at the moment, but still we need to see the price action hit some levels. It does look very, very staircasey, right? Big move up, very, very channely, wedgy. So the only bearish case scenario here would be a double 1-2 and price ends up breaking down in a wave 3, which is possible, of course. Nobody likes to long here, right? Only if you do get a reaction from the lows, just because we do have some pretty solid support. There's a little order block right there on the slightly higher time frames, and there is the previous day point of control, previous day value area high. It's an interesting zone, quite a lot of volume here right there, so the price could struggle to break down from this zone and form a double bottom. A little bit of a sniper trade if you do get that reaction. We want to be cautious, of course, on the double 1-2 breakdown in a wave 3. We just retrace the entire pump of yesterday. A little bit of a dangerous zone, of course. We want to be a little bit cautious with longs at the moment, of course, because yeah, we literally at the highs of the range again, right? And when you go to the highs of the range, you might say it's an ascending triangle. It's going to backtest. It's not going to break down. It's going to be bullish. We're going to go to 100K plus, right? Because we got that ascending triangle scenario. Well, we have broken out for the moment, right? For the moment, it is above the highs. But as you can see, this was a fake out. We did get a pullback. This does look pretty okay. Movement down looks corrective. We just want to be cautious, of course, of the price, you know, faking out again, right? Getting down. But it does look pretty good for continuation to the upside with this kind of price action. With this kind of price action, it does look pretty okay for the price to continue up. No signs of this being bearish. There's no motive wave here to the downside. Only thing we want to be aware of is the double 1-2. So this is why this could be a little bit of a risky attempt. But there's just so good support down here. We are actually creating some pretty nice bullish CVD divergence. So we might not even hit those lows. There is lower lows on the CVD on Bybit. And we do have higher lows on the price action. So there's shorters coming in here pretty aggressively throughout the last few hours. We got 8 million shorts entering here just about an hour and 30 minutes from now, right? This movement that we had to the downside. Lots of bearish CVD divergence, people wanting to short on Bybit. They're like, yeah, we're going to short. And the movement, they're not making a great job in shorting up here. And the price is not really moving that much. So it's just creating a little bit more liquidity to the upside. So we're going to dive in through the 1 hourly time frame, the 4 hourly time frame, of course, and 15-minute where we have the meat and potatoes, the quickest potential setup that I have at the moment. You know, this trend line break, not a fan of trend line breakouts, even though we do have a bit of bullish CVD divergence. I'm more of a liquidity grab, big support level guy, right, where we do attempt a breakout somewhere and then get the bounce. You know, this would be a nice little bounce to at least sweep up the lower highs, in my opinion, if that is going to be the case. Yeah, contracting diagonal is not going to work because this is very, very channely at the moment. Very, very channely. So we just want to be aware of a 112 here, right? Where it looks corrective and then boom. We've been pumping quite aggressively in the last couple of days, right? It's been pretty aggressive. We don't want to get too bullish as we just slightly above the highs of the range, right? It's just it's one of those zones that it's more interesting to look for swing shorts, of course. You know, if we do reject from here in the next coming hours, next couple of days, I think this rejection, you know, really has the potential to not only go to $89,000, but even lower, right? We're leaving all of these higher lows right there, right, with massive amounts of liquidity. So most of the liquidity to the upside has been swept from the shorts. I did attempt a short position as mentioned yesterday, but I realized it's just not worth having open. Not worth having open that short when we're having that movement to the upside. And this is where managing your trade, right, and your risk management and understanding that the price is moving up with high volume, I would rather cancel my short in this pump instead of either adding to the short or just having my stop loss here above 95k, which it would have got stopped out anyway regardless. It's understanding that you don't want to break out with increasing volume because that just gives you the potential of moving to the upside. So overall, just maintaining some of those longs of last week and you know, from this zone, adding to some of the positions, of course, just to kind of increase the exposure to the upside eventually. And no shorts at the moment. I am no longer in any short positions. I am interested in shorts. I am interested in looking for short positions, of course, after this pump. However, it's not too clear with this corrective move that we've got to the downside. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of what I want to see to get into that short. Testing the highs could be starting to look interesting to actually look for double tops or even levels of resistance to the upside. Now, the weekly naked point of control that we have here just under 96k, getting that reaction. This weekly naked point of control is from that news. Didn't bring any volatility at all. Yeah. No volatility. Maybe on the S&P 500 we got a little bit of volatility, but not on Bitcoin anyway. We do have some more news now in the next just 30 minutes after New York Open. We might get a little bit of volatility then. Anyway, weekly naked point of control is from this range over here. That's, you know, we did have a nice little range, okay? High volume node in this territory, which is what is been getting the reaction as we were pumping here to $96,000. So, few little ranges, bit of high volume nodes, weekly naked point of control, acting a little bit as resistance here. A bit of a sniper short, I have to say, a little bit of a aggressive, right? I'm just going to jump in the short and hope for the reversal. For the moment, this is not looking that interesting for the bears. I have to say, this is not the kind of price action that is ideal. Even though the bears could have a chance here, they could have a chance as long as they maintain beneath this lower high right over there, because a 112 is there, but with high volume, I'm going to consider that this could still be a wave 3 because it has the highest amount of volume of this move. So what makes more sense here, just going with a little bit of drawing, not too much into detail, even though we have the details of the waves, is that from this pivot, you have your wave 1, wave 2, all of this is your wave 3. Or even still, you have another leg to the upside to finish the third wave, and then you still have the 4 and 5. We did, you know, yesterday we did talk about here. First of all, guys, this content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before any financial decision. I need to give a shout out to Joy from the Telegram, because he did write me a DM a couple of days ago. You know, can you give me a shout out in the live stream. I'm not sure if he is around, but anyway, Joy, shout out to you from the Telegram, who was messaging me a few days ago, and we've been having a chat. I'm not too sure if it was me. Give me a shout out on the stream. Well, there you go, Joy. Much love to you. I'm not sure if he would be here at the moment, but I'll go through the comment section in just 1 second, guys. Setups. There is a little bit of a dangerous one, as explained, which is this order block, right? With the previous day point of control, previous day value area high. It is a bit of a risky one. I have to say, it's not one of those that are like really massive long, because we've got the danger of the multiple 1-2s, right? If you come down to this zone, it's going to be a tricky one to get into a long, right? I would long a little bit later, get a bit of a reactionary bounce and a bit of a correction here, wherever it goes. If the bounce is even better here to take out these lower highs, then even better to get into that long position to take out the highs again, right? Because then your double 1-2 would be invalidated. There's no type of diagonal here that can be formed. Well, it would be an expanding one, but we don't like expanding diagonals. They are, very rare to see on the chart. So yeah, it's just there is support, but it's going to be a tricky one if it does want to come down there. What if we do not get down here? The best scenario here that we have to look for the long setup is taking out this high. Taking out this lower high would literally be very good for the bulls, increasing the probabilities that you're going to take out this high at some point. So a kind of an inverted head and shoulder, if you wish, to get into the right shoulder would be like the ideal scenario here, because then this would be a confirmation that it is a 3-wave corrective structure. Of course, the correction could extend. That's what we want to be aware of. But if, I would be happy to attempt one long with 1%. And if the price decides to form a more complex correction where you have a zigzag and you have a zigzag to the upside, and it decides it wants to form, a flat structure and then take out the highs, right? Where you form a complex WXY or maybe a triangle later on. I would have 2 bullets here to attempt if you do take out this high, because it's either going to be that kind of inverted head and shoulder scenario. This is likely corrective if you take out this high. So a higher low in this region to take out the highs again is going to be interesting. I have to say, we need to go with the trend. We need to go with the probabilities. It's important to take out that lower high to confirm that this is likely corrective. And if the price decides it wants to come down and hit the lows where we have the previous day value area high and the previous day point of control zone, I would just say, well, we're probably looking at a flat structure here, and then either a triangle or another flat here, but a complex WXY, basically a channel, and the probabilities would just be very high here. So I would attempt a long position at a higher low, especially if we have bullish CVD divergence. And if the price decides, I'm going to put stop loss here, but I would be happy to re-enter that position with 2% just to maximize the profits from the stop loss, which I would look for a double bottom, because I would be looking for a flat if we take out the lows after taking out these highs. Okay, so that's a little bit of what we got. We are forming a little bit of a rangy structure. It's looking still okay for the bulls. There's no sign of weakness. Yes, we rejected from the weekly naked point of control, but this rejection is looking not too great, not too powerful. So as we see with the information on the chart, it is still looking very interesting to take out the highs. It's not a confirmation because a double 1-2 is possible, but it's still looking good. We've got big volume here. We want to label this potentially as a wave 3. When you have increasing volume to the upside, you just need to give the label for it to be a wave 3 always, regardless if things change later on, where you get a breakdown, and then you get an impulse to the downside here, then the bounce is going to be looking good for a short eventually. But as we do have the highest amount of volume, this does look corrective. we need to give priority, of course, to the uptrend momentum, right? Being a little bit cautious because longs should be taken at your wave twos, right? Your wave twos are the ones that you really want to get in. You don't want to start getting in at potential 4 and 5s. That's where it looks interesting for swing short positions. And this is why taking out the local highs, man, I am super interested in local double tops. There's a naked point of control at 97k approximately. It's going to be looking pretty damn interesting because now we've got the slowdown. When we have a big move to the upside, getting an explosive move later on to follow is low probability because we have had the stop. Now it's where it looks interesting to say, okay, wave 3, or we got a wave 5 here to complete that wave 3. But overall, what you're looking at here after the biggest move with high volume is a slowdown. In those 4-5s into resistance. Double tops are starting to look very interesting to speculate into that short, understanding that getting a big move out from here is a low probability. So starting to look for double tops in this region or hitting levels of resistance, we've got a naked point of control at 97k zone, is starting to look very, very attractive because the bigger move has already happened, right? And when we do give this example, we can go to the slightly lower time frames here, zooming in. As explained, when you have a little move down and up, 1, 2, the third wave, right? And then you consolidate the probabilities of breaking down. This was a long position that we mentioned on Monday here, looking for that double bottom, right? Looking for the 5th wave for just a local bounce, guys, not this move, but still, you could still be in that long position from down here. Understanding that, guys, it's unlikely that we're going to break down from this point very aggressively because the bigger move happened here with high volume. It could happen. You could extend, have an extension 5th wave, even though 3rd wave was already extended. And that's the same theory that we got up here at the levels of resistance, right? It's more interesting to start looking for swing shorts. And, I really like to catch the highest level possible unless we get a breakdown, and then I'll have to get into the bounce. Right, to look for that, wave 3, 4, and 5 later to follow. But I know, I'm sure, let me know if you are already entering a short position, because maybe some people have, the idea that, man, this is going to roll over at some point. It is a little bit crucial zone, I have to say. We could take out the highs. It could punch out a little bit more to the upside. But I know it is looking attractive. We've got lots of shorts jumping in here on Bybit already, okay, in this zone. So people are interested in shorting here, this consolidation, even though lots of longs entered here on Bybit US dollar tether. Well, lots of longs entered here with that pump hitting plus 96k. But this would be more of a swing trade. So you need to give it a little bit of room for a breather, and there could always add to your short once we get weakness. However, somebody pointed out something very, very interesting on yesterday's stream. Anyway, let's say hello. Two setups, just so I remember here. Just so I remember, right, after going through the comment section, something that I want to add here that somebody mentioned yesterday, which is very, very interesting. You either catch the high or you lose, or you miss the trade, right? Which is not totally true. You miss catching the highest pivot, right? Which is very, very complex. It's dangerous. You need to manage risk, right? But if not, you need to enter later on, right? Because overall in this uptrend, it's like, if you did not catch the low, or you did not catch the low here, right? That's it, right? You missed the trade. Well, you can look for longs, right, in this region, right? We talked about a few longs throughout last week even, right? The one here hitting the golden point of control, the golden pocket from this move, right? The 382 from this move up right over here. You can still jump into the long, and when we have this liquidity pocket all the way down here beneath $89,000 and even $87,000, right? We are looking at, right, the prices, if we start moving down aggressively, price will likely want to get down below 89k to sweep up that liquidity. And we even got more liquidity below at 87k, right? When we do see the liquidity heat map, you know, there's just to the upside, there's not that much. So it's kind of looking attractive after the biggest move that happened yesterday, that getting exhaustion here, or maybe this is the high, which there is a possibility of this being the high, or getting exhausted at this moment, as we already have our first major stop, right? We have our first major stop here. And that is what we want to see after a big move with high volume. The fact that the price is stopping here after creating that high above 96k is the sign of exhaustion, the first sign of exhaustion right now from the bulls, that, you know, all of this major move that we had yesterday with high volume is finally stopping. It is finally stopping. So looking for longs up here is extremely challenging, right? Yes, we can take out the highs again and maybe again, but the probabilities in getting the correction at some point, right, is going to happen, right? It's likely going to happen. That's the highest probability scenario, that the movements to the upside now are likely going to fail to get a big push up to plus 100k, right? Let's say. So yeah, we want to be cautious here on local scalps, you know, longs, local day trade longs, because the big move happened. The big move happened already, and you want to try and be in that big move to the upside from wherever, right? From wherever of these, you know, this momentum that you got in. Now it becomes a little bit dangerous to, you know, get into longs. Of course, you can take out the local highs. That would be your main target, really, because there's no swing longs to take here to all-time high. I can tell you that, right? I think a lot of people understand that. Whoops, sorry. So yeah, the idea here is swing shorts looking interesting. However, you know, we would still take out the highs a couple of more times. That's the only risk. The problem here is, where you comfortable? If you're looking for a swing short, without a doubt, you know, you would be targeting at least $89,000, right? Those higher lows, with the potential of coming back down to 87k zone, right? This is, you know, realistically at least take out 89k. Stop loss. It's a situation here at this moment. Are you happy to risk 1% stop loss, right? 98, 99k. That's, you know, your risk to reward is shrinking here. Are you happy to add to the position, right? Because I'm actually interested, because a lot of the times I kind of want to wait for too much confirmation, and then we have a big move down that's, you know, dropping down $2,000-$3,000, and I'm like, you know, I didn't get in, right? So sometimes what is smart to do when you have your risk management in the 1-2% risk of your capital, entering with either 0.5 or 1%, and have a little bit of dry powder to either add on the double top zone here or triple top. Okay, be ready to add to that position, or be ready to add to the position if you get the solid breakdown impulse. On the bounce is where you want to add to that existing trade that you've risked 0.5 or 1%, right? Which, you know, maybe stretch it to 2.5%. Never, you know, I never exceed 3% risk on my trading capital. And I've been doing that for a long time, and I'm not going to break it because it works, right? You know, not on some trades enter with 10% and other trades enter with 5%, or, you know, and then 20%. We don't do that, because losing 20% on a stop loss of your account is a lot, right? It's a fifth of the account. You don't want to do that. It's a slow growth. So yeah, this is a little bit of the situation here right now. You know, the probabilities in getting a big move up are low from this point at the range highs. And I know some of you will, you know, just look at the classic pattern, which would be an ascending triangle, right? Ascending triangle right over here. We broke the resistance, right? And we got the width of the triangle. That's it. Game over for the bulls, right? Bears are in denial. We're going to go to 108k. Not 100k, 108k, right? Just a classic ascending triangle. Forget the Elliott wave nonsense. It's broken resistance. You know, get your moon boots on because it is time to fly. Yeah, I mean, no chance I would be looking for swing longs here. No chance. The danger of this being a fake out and sweeping up the higher lows where there's that liquidity, not that much liquidity here to the upside, is what I prefer fake outs, if you ask me. And I understand where that fake out could be. And because we had the biggest move with the highest volume yesterday, when you break out from an ascending triangle, you want to, you know, grind and get pullbacks. You want to get an impulse here, and then you want to get the correction here. That's where you want to get the power of the breakout. When you consolidate, right, $1,000, $2,000 below the resistance, when it's just tapping, it's ranging, and it's building power to get a solid breakout. Not get the big move from the lows of the triangle, okay, of the ascending triangle, when all of the power has been wasted to get up to the resistance zone. You know, I want to see the breakout in a consolidation here. That's where it's building a reaccumulation pop out. Not when it, you know, we've already wasted the power here from 90k to 95k in the last couple of days with high volume, and this is what it's done. It's just got to the top of the triangle resistance, right, to the top of the range. I want the power to be on the breakout after consolidation, consolidation beneath the resistance, not from the lows, because you've wasted the power already, right, to get all the way up here. So this is why, you know, probabilities when we do take a look at this of getting solid continuation here, maybe what could happen is that you do get a correction here, a bit of a fake out of the triangle, but in the next few days, sorry, you actually range. You move down, boom, 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 right, and you start dancing around in this zone, and it does look very, very free wavy and corrective. That could be promising for then getting the breakout. But you know, that's not the case at the moment. So, and I mean, the next few days are going to be interesting on how we do reject. Will it be corrective, or will it be a strong move down and the bounce is going to be looking very, very corrective? That's where you want to jump in eventually to take out the lows in the bounce. Of course, you know, let's go through the comment section. Because we got a lot to talk about here. We got a lot of education. Smash up that like button. Let's do a like button recount here as we are seeing the people jumping in on the stream. Let's go. Smash it up. Let's go. Much love to everybody. Thank you for joining today's streamerado. Big love, Milo. Much love to you. I'm going to go quickly through the comment section here, even though I think, did it get stuck? Well, comment section is good. I can see Devil here, my man. Much love to you. Thanks for joining the stream. Go and check out Devil, guys. If you don't know who Devil is, he's an absolute master, all right, in technical analysis, education on his channel, all right? Go and check out Devil. Mario Ayakos, much love to you. Thanks for joining. Gucci Falk. Get excited, fellas. Yes, absolutely. Hello, Andy. Can the major daily time frame lower low of 4th of November at 98k act as a SFP or resistance zone? Any chance of getting a major downtrend from there? This is, you know, absolutely, you know, absolutely. Why not? Lower highs. Yeah, literally. I mean, yeah, you could, on the higher time frame, this is a bigger move, right? When you do zoom out on the 4 hourly, right, or the 12 hourly, you got a bit of a fair value gap here on the higher time frame, right? All of this is one candle, right? When you go to the daily or the weekly even, right? So it's a bit of a fair value gap, and it does become interesting, these little lower highs right there, to combine with the local double tops that could appear here. So yeah, this range, the range highs of this consolidation, you got a big move down and then a little bit of a range. This would be the zone that I would say that we're likely going to reject, 97 to 98k zone. Not that we have an insane amount of levels up there, unfortunately. yeah, naked point of control at 97k weekly, monthly. Not insane amount of levels, but it doesn't matter. You got the fair value gap from the higher time frame, and this is what I would be looking at here, starting to look for exhaustion. Take out the highs 1 or 2 more times, because the big move happened already with high volume, and that's what usually happens, right? But what is very interesting about the waves 4 and 5s is that this is the fake out territory. People that like to trade fake out, such as myself, okay, well, eventually people are going to bet on that this is a fake out and the price is going to reverse. However, understanding how we built up the momentum from down here, and the biggest volume is still at the peak high from the last 2 days, you need to consider that you need still the 4-5s, and the 4-5s are literally the ones that are stopping out, right? All of those shorters, right, that are entering here on this pump to then only roll over, right? So this is why this is the moment that it looks very, very attractive to look for the double, triple tops, right? Which is your 4-5s entering into resistance levels, which is what where I want to get in on the short. Remaining patient. Sometimes I remain too patient that, yeah, price ends up, because there is a bearish case scenario that ends up rolling over already, right? And then I have to say, well, I missed the top, right? The main reason why, I'm not in the short at the moment is purely based of stop loss, right? I don't, well, just give it a bit of room. Yeah, but I'm not, not a fan of doing that, to be honest. I would rather enter with 0.5% and either in the double top, triple top, add to that position to make it a 1 to 2% entry point. Target zone, I would be targeting at least the lows here, right? Because I've seen these play out many times where you have an ascending triangle, you fake out the highs, you fake out the lows, and then you maybe go up. It just happens. Fake outs are very, very common, as you do know, in Bitcoin and crypto in general. So it is a situation here to enter on the swing short. I'm going to remain patient to take out the highs, and that's when I'm going to start looking for a short. I'll probably compound into a short, but using risk management, 0.5%, then maybe add another 1%, give a bit of room for stop, because overall I am looking, the target zone for this swing short would be coming down to below 89k at least at a bare minimum. So, but yeah, for the moment, shorts at where we are at the moment, I'm not that interested. And of course, if the price were to move down here in that double 1, 2, 3, right, it forms a bit of an impulse, then I would have to look for the corrective bounce to join the party. That's where I'm going to join the party. So I'll miss the short here, but I'll try and identify, of course, the new downtrend, right? Because that's where you want a short. You don't want to get bearish down here. You already want to be participating, right, on that move. But this would be a confirmation, which is something that somebody pointed out yesterday, which was interesting. You either catch the high or you miss the trade. Well, you don't have to miss the trade. You can jump in later on once you get a bit of market structure and confirmation to the downside. So I am currently shorting from 95.9. That was a pretty epic sniper entry. I'm curious for the people. Where would they put their stop loss? I would just imagine that you were looking at the weekly naked point of control here at the 96k zone, which is where we got that resistance here. These are a bit of a sniper, move up, move down, enter. But yeah, I'm interested in the people that entered into a short catching the high. I'm interested in where is your stop loss, right? Where is your invalidation for this short, which is important. I don't have any. This is why I'm no longer in a short. I don't have an entry at this moment. I don't my entries are going to start looking interesting at the double tops here, okay? And if you do correct down on the next movement to the downside, I'll just be ready for the highs to be taken again And then maybe this naked point of control at 97k is going to be the short, or this double top. And that's the one that I would be interested in. So yeah. And my stop is going to be above the highs, right? If I enter with 0.5, I'll get it a bit of room to maybe see the next high be taken, and then look to add to the position or get into a new position as well on the rejection of this naked point of control at 97k. But I'm interested for the ones that are entering, you know, above the weekly naked point of control, literally catching the highs, right? You know, where is your stop loss? It's you know, because I just can't have a stop loss when I'm trying to catch a movement up above the resistance. It's just not. I don't know how to trade any other way. So anyway, it's a pretty solid entry, but as mentioned, movements down are looking very corrective, very staircasey, and we do have the chance eventually to take out the highs again, just because the highest amount of volume is in this movement that we had yesterday at the highs. And when you have that, when you're building up here, you just need to consider always that your wave 3 is either in, or you still need a 4-5 for your wave 3 to be in here from this move, and then you get another 4 and 5, and then you get the rejection. So you always need to consider that. Big high volume can be most of the times, where the biggest move is with the highest amount of volume, most of the times it is a wave 3, which means you're expecting a wave 4 and take out the highs again. So yeah, let's go through the comment section right away. Devil, much love to you. I'm not sure if you're around. Andy is almost as good as me. Much love to you, my man. Very well explained, Devot Trading. Guys, go and check out Devot. He's an absolute beast. Exactly this is why I'm so skeptical. We want the high volume as we break out. Not too early. It's too early. It says put on mascara. Put on mascara. Much love. Yeah, reading these names you can see I struggle. 60k coming. Yeah, bears are a little bit in denial. I have to say, I was a little bit bearish. Bearish. I was looking for shorts. I was looking for this to be corrective, but overall, with new information that we had in the last 48 hours, a bit skeptical. Trying to, combine different things here. There is a way of saying, okay, well, you got 3 wave down, 3 wave up, and this a flat. Just because you had an impulsive move down here, right? You need to get a flat in this zone. Could you combine something here, WXY? So yesterday, it was super important, of course, for the bulls to maintain above this higher low, right? For the 1-2, 1-2, bang, third wave. And yesterday we were talking about, guys, until we do not get a solid range, which is what we are getting right now. Now it's looking interesting for the exhaustion. Now I understand that the probabilities here of breaking out very aggressively are decreasing because the biggest move happened here, right? And now it's looking interesting to look for the exhaustion. Test the highs, correct, test the highs again. You could hit 97, it might stretch to 98, right? But this is the zone where you're literally looking at this kind of price action, but all the way up here, right? So, at the end of the day, this is what you're looking at. That's how an impulse finishes. So yeah, double, triple tops are looking good. This is mainly looking for a swing short, guys. This is the zone where it looks interesting to start looking for swing shorts. You need to be very, very cautious. You need to manage risk, but I would be targeting, for this swing short, eventually we're looking for a $6,000-7,000 move at a bare minimum to take out these higher lows. That could take maybe a week or two, right? It's not a trade it's not a day trade. This is, it's going to be punchy. It's going to be volatile. It's going to be a bit grindy. You're going to get a move down, then you're going to get a big move up, right? But before you get down there's going to be a lot of waves here that are going to be a little bit noisy. But that would be the projection, at least for me, to possibly take out this low. So First execution for me on this swing short, I would be happy to already look for a short after testing the highs. Okay, after testing the highs, which is at 96.3k, almost right over there. If we take out this lower high, then it's ultimately almost a confirmation. I would be jumping into another scalp long, just realizing that this is very high probability three-wave corrective structure, and it's either going to be correction, bullish CVDs, take out the highs, or it's going to be an extended sideways corrective move, which I would have to eat a stop loss, where you get a three-wave up, and then you get a three-wave down, you get an impulse here, and then that would be your wave X. So it would be a wave W, wave X, and a flat, and then this could be either another flat, or it could be a triangle, right? Maybe a quick triangle here to then take out the highs. But there's two attempts here, a higher low or SFP of the lows. If we take out this high, if we take out this lower high and you take out this low, where you have the previous day point of control, previous day value area high, this is a very, very good SFP. Very, very good SFP. If you take out this lower high and the price manages to come down, which you don't know eventually, but if it does, you got your entry, right? Which you're entering, of course, on the bounce, right? Somewhere here, your stop loss is here. And, you know, then it could be a little bit more rangy, but you are looking to take out the highs. And yesterday, we did have a clear example of this. And I'll just show you right away. It was literally here. Literally here, guys. Yeah, I think I'm going to zoom in on the 3-minute, guys. Bear with me, because I want to give a little bit of the education as well, just because you might think all of these wicks up and then down to sweep up the lows and you're looking for a long. I'm going to explain that again, but looking at this structure from yesterday. Okay, this is yesterday's price action, right? And you can clearly see, look at this long position on testing the lows of the fair value gap. It was an absolute banger of a long trade setup here. And you might think, well, hang on a minute, right? You know, maybe people were getting on a long position here on this, you know, movement to the upside. What was so interesting about this move, right? Because, I mean, a lot of people might say, I'm getting into the breakout. I'm getting into, you know, that's where you want a long, right? This is your bomb diggity long position. You're literally catching the lows of the range and to test the highs and leave some open if you do get follow through. This is a insane long position. And it's all understanding what's happened in this zone. Right? What the heck happened here? How would I know that this would be a long position? And this is why, from this explanation, if we take out these lower highs and the price comes down to sweep up the lows, you don't have much of a fair value gap anymore here, but this would be something similar, a similar long position to take out the highs later on, regardless if you form a triangle, a bit of noise here. But this would be the setup. And for this setup, you need to take out the lows. So take out these lower highs first, because you understand that this is corrective. Not sure, you know, a higher low here would be interesting to long, because you might not take out the low, but I would be ready to reposition myself with 2% instead of a 1% on this one, which would be a little bit more tricky, and catching this higher low, understanding that the lows can be claimed. But if the lows are claimed, I would go in bigger. I would really go stretch it to 2.5% risk here to, you know, possibly gain 6 or 7% at the highs. This would be a high probability trade setup. Zigzag down, possible flat, and then maybe it might range and you know, either a flat internally here and then move up, or a triangle. It doesn't matter. You got very high probability that at some point after the noise, it's going to move up to take out the highs. So this explanation, bear with me here, guys. Bear with me. I know it's tiring, guys. But what the beauty about the complicity of looking at these patterns is where you have the edge against other people that are looking for, inverted head and shoulders and descending wedges, right? This is like the edge of reading how the market on what the heck is going on, right? Trying to understand the previous price action and why would this be a very, very good long position right there. When you do take a look at this movement to the downside that we had yesterday, which you had the movement down, this was your low. Consolidation, you had another low right there. So you turning this into a 3-wave move to the downside, especially when you get this rally to take out the lower highs. You did not take out the highs. And this correction, this movement down is extremely interesting to start looking for long positions, because you realize that this is corrective. And man, if the price gives you the honor to come down to sweep up the lows of this range, that is your entry. Understanding that, there's no impulsive move down. You come all the way up here to hit the 0.9 Fibonacci, which is, extremely rare for a wave 2 to get a solid breakdown later on, or in a 1-2-1-2. It's just unlikely, and anything coming down after getting this movement to the upside is where you want to look for longs. And testing the lows here would have been the is obviously the big trade. This is a very, very good trade setup. And so, I mean, this explanation is literally on something that could happen here on the price of Bitcoin in this range, right? Market moves in waves and wicks, and they do repeat themselves, right? There's only certain ways how the market moves. It doesn't move, not many times it gets a major explosive move, but literally the market moves in 5 waves or in 3 waves. And the 3 waves can be flats, they can be zigzags, they can, you can form a triangle. The market only moves like this. And it's all about trying to detect if it's corrective, if it's impulsive, if it's a flat, if it's a WXY, right? And you're kind of mapping the situation. And, it just creates these patterns, right? Just like an inverted head and shoulder or a wedge, right? But a lot of the times the wedges, don't play out, right? If anybody was looking at this as a wedge, right? This is the problem right now with these kind of wedges, right? I'm looking for a long, and you naturally targeting the highs. I'm getting into the breakout, I'm targeting the highs, right? Descending wedge. We're getting the breakout of the wedge, I'm entering a long. Where's your stop loss? Well, naturally it would be below the lows, right? It's the most natural thing to put a stop loss when you're getting into a breakout of a wedge. So what would happen? You get the breakout. Oh, I'm in the profit. It's going to take out the highs. It stops you out and then takes out the highs. But you, with the knowledge that I'm giving you, that's where you want to enter. So, something similar here could happen. Just don't know if it's going to happen. But if it does, I know where to position myself. Price is just moving up at the moment. So if we were to get some kind of a rejection from this point, at this point, this is high probability a correction. So there's a good chance that we're going to take out the highs later on at some point here. And as explained, I'm in no shorts as of yet. I'm interested in shorts. This is the zone where it starts looking interesting to position myself into shorts. But still, if I can jump into another long, I will, to take out these highs at this point, because it's just high probability. And that taking out these highs might break out a little bit further, or it might create a double top and then you form the next 4th wave. But that's where it starts looking like it's getting exhausted, and there is the time to start looking for swing shorts, as explained on the higher time frame, right? So a little bit fresh here, just waiting for the best trades at the end of the day, right? We can't trade every single movement, unfortunately, right? We don't have a crystal ball, even though I have crystal balls. But I can't trade every movement, right? I can't trade a long, a short, a long, a short, a long, you know, short here if we correct, then long, right? And you're banking in all of the movements, right? Trading doesn't work like that. I've never seen someone do that. Maybe a grid bot's going to do that, right? When you're in a range, but ultimately it's all about being patient and waiting for the strongest trade, highest probability trade. So at this moment, even though we haven't taken it, would be nice to take out that high. I think it is going to take it out at some point. We're getting so close to it, but for this to be a wave 2 at this point is low probability. This wave 2 is getting a little bit longer than this one. You never like that. Forming a lower high at the 0.9 Fibonacci for a wave 2 is very rare. When you get so close to a high, you're likely going to take it out. So preferably we do take out that high. And if we do correct from here, so you might create kind of if it does create kind of this local double top, where you have a 1 2 3 sorry, a 1 2 yeah, basically a 3 and a 4 and a 5, a bit of an impulse potentially. It might chop here a little bit without taking out this high. We're gonna have to see. Anyway, yeah, it might be 1 2 3 4 5, and that's a 3-wave structure. And then you look for the movement down, and you're looking for a flat sweep up the lows. I mean, this would be the ideal long setup, I have to say. This would really be the ideal long setup. You're getting people bullish. You're getting people into the breakout of the trend. And obviously lots of stops, you know, are piling up here in this zone on the break of trend. And, you know, this would be the ideal long position with stop loss, I have to say. If the price moves down from here in a very, very corrective manner, preferably if we after taking out the highs, unless we break out already, but if we do form a bit of a corrective move here, so you move down, move up, move down, then move up, then that's a zone where it looks interesting to just jump in onto the long position as well. But yeah, we're gonna have to see a little bit of patience here, right? You got the highs here that are providing, you know, support, resistance. Could it act as support again and you form a corrective structure? Then longs here could be relatively interesting. Could be relatively interesting if you do detect that 3-wave structure. Obviously your management here needs to be a little bit better. Last higher lows would be just to have a better risk reward. If not, we just break through and test the highs, because we did have some bullish CVD divergence on the formation. The buy bit shorts are getting punished at the moment that have been piling up short positions in the last few hours. We've been getting some pretty insane bullish CVD divergence. Look at the lower lows here on the CVD, higher lows on price action. Shorts are struggling right now that have entered in this zone. You know, this is very, very corrective price action, I have to say. No great signs here for this. Double 1-2s is something that you kind of hope for, but it's not a confirmation eventually. So yeah, longs, high probability we take out the highs, guys, here at this point, because you have that 3-wave move down, and yeah, getting this bounce, almost taking out this lower high, then good chance. So now the question is, do we correct down? That's interesting to jump into the long. Or if we move down here a bit aggressively, that's going to be the long position that I'm taking at the lows. SFP, we got previous day, point of control, previous day, value area high, a little bit of an order block right there on slightly higher time frames. Yeah, this would be the support zone, SFP of the lows. Something very, very similar that happened yesterday. Not sure if we will get it, guys, because high probability in taking out the highs. So how are we going to get up there to hit the highs? Is it just going to be straight up? Are we going to correct down? Interesting for longs if we form a 3-wavy structure here. Or are we going to move down, aggressive rejection, little bounce corrective, take out the lows, and then this becomes the long? But yeah, as mentioned, it is interesting at this point to not look for shorts because there's a high probability in taking out the high. So why would I waste dry powder in shorting here when I realize there's a very, very good chance that we're going to take out these highs? Okay, so yeah, just a little bit of, this is the same as yesterday. I attempted a short at the golden pocket zone. I'm happy to be transparent about it, guys. I had to exit at a very small loss because I was just my original stop loss from the short trade that I had yesterday was at the highs here, and I was not only targeting $89,000 but with the possibility of breaking down here and forming this scenario. But I understood letting the community know I exited here. So, I'm risking 1%. It's less than 0.5% that I'm losing here. Just understanding that, guys, we're moving up with volume and getting continuation up for the wave 3. It's just, that's what you don't want to battle when you're breaking up with high volume. You just need to understand, well, maybe we are developing the wave 3, and wave 3s, you don't know where they're going to stop. Yes, it is common to hit the 1.618 and maybe reject at the 1.618, but you can go up to the 2.618, you can go to the 3.618. Wave 3s can be ferocious if volume is kicking in. So naturally, I don't want to see that. If I enter a short and I get volume increasing against me, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting out, right? I'm going to get out. You're just saving up. That's understanding the reading of the market, right? If we would have got low volume and choppiness, I would still leave it open and give the chance here of the exhaustion. But that was not the case. So managing trades is also very, very important, right? As we do learn. I hope you do guys learn a lot, right? Just little tricks and tips and stuff that you kind of absorb from me, because you are here on YouTube to absorb just your valuable information. I am human. I do get stopped out as well. They're not all winners. And I like talking about my stop losses because there was a reason for me to believe that we could have, and this is trying to get into the pico top of a possible correction. It's trying to get into the pico top, which is risky. And the moment you get a breakout with high volume, you need to understand that, this is going against the idea that this could have peaked out at this point. Because yesterday, the correction idea was, which is very disturbing because there's so many different signs that, you got a 3-wave move here in an ABC, right? However, I was talking about this on the lives a few days ago as well, and in the community. This is very 3-wavy, so there's a problem here for this to be an ABC. So that could break down your entire analysis. If you get one wave wrong from the entire structure, it could mess up your analysis. Because, I was saying, well, because it's the lower time frame, we're going to give it acceptance that it could be an ABC. And yeah, maybe you can squeeze in a 5-wave structure here on the 2-minute time frame. But the reality is that, yeah, this was a 3-waver. Because, right now with the price action, I realized that this was 3-wave up, movement down here. It was a bit more of a flat structure here. So, yeah, I understand that, it just was, with the price action that I was looking for this to be a 3-wave up, potentially a flat here, because we had this impulse. So I need to start restructuring the scenarios. And then this a zigzag to the upside here, where you have your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could we top out here in the 5th wave for this to be an ABC? And that was the attempt. That was the attempt. Very valid, not bad information. Obviously, we had a problem with this movement down, which is, is it a diagonal? Is it a WXY? Is it a 3-wave structure? It's, not extremely clear. But anyway, it was worth the attempt, but it's, you know, it's, you just need to understand when you're wrong, right? And realizing that you're wrong sooner rather than later can save you some bucks, right? So anyway, that's just, I just wanted to point it out that short, that, you know, I had to take the 0.5% loss on that. And I like talking about the stop loss, because, you know, you need to give the reason of why you entered. Why did you get out? Why did you chicken out, right? Because it was on stream that I closed the position, and I said to the community, look, I'm getting out. I'm cutting the loss here because of the increasing volume. And, you know, next day, I'm happy to see this movement up, if I'm honest, because sometimes you would close the short at a loss, and then, you know, it rolls over, and you're like literally closed. I know, even though I thought that, you know, I you know, just not worth being in the short. If we would have got that exhaustion yesterday in this zone, you know, with that wave 4, as we explained, 4 and 5, and we start ranging here after the big volume that we had yesterday, then it looks good for the short. But that's what I'm looking at here. Doesn't matter where it comes. I'm out of the short. I'm in no short. I'm interested in looking for shorts now. So I'm waiting patiently for that information, which is after taking out the local highs, which has higher probability at this point. So, or wait for the impulse down, right? And then the bounce is where you enter the shorts. So I'm happy that maybe some of you were not interested in shorting as well. Once we were getting the volume, I explained yesterday what we need to see, guys. We want to see exhaustion, or we want to see the big leg down here in a 5 waver, and then we can maybe look for shorts later on in the next couple of days on the bounce to maybe take out the lows. But that was not the case, you know. And be careful of shorting this movement up. There was a few, I wouldn't say a lot, but there was a few people saying that's it, because our poll from the last few days was, do we take out 95k or do we take out 87k, right? And a lot of people were still in favor of what comes first is 87k. So I just hope that people were defensive and were protective, just like myself. I did attempt the short, but I understand where I'm wrong, and if the volume increases, that this could be a wave 3, and I do not know where a wave 3 is going to finish, unfortunately, despite having a bit of resistance here. It's just not worth getting into a short at resistance with increasing volume. You need to get into the short when it starts getting exhaustion, which is the case. This is a good sign right now. Probabilities in mooning to 100k plus now in the next couple of days is low probability. I know it's, you know, I know it's going to reject at some point. I know we're going to roll over at some point. And, you know, now is the tricky part is, do we test the highs one time and correct down and then test it again? And then that's the one, right? Will we have 1 5th wave, or will we have 2 5th waves? Because you can fit in here a couple of 1-2s. There, you know, on the lower time frame, it becomes a little bit tricky here, because you can fit in, you know, 1-2, 1-2, and another 1-2 over here on this little movement. So that means you have another 4-5. It doesn't really matter, because you know, at the double tops, this is the moment that I'm interested in looking for the shorts. First one, okay, we correct down, overlappy. I'll be just lowering risk and just waiting for the next double top, maybe at this naked point of control at 97k zone. We're gonna have to see, but this is mainly a swing short. This is like looking for the big rejection, right? This ain't no little scalp day trades of $1,000. This is like looking for the $6,000-$7,000 move. And you know, at the end of the day, my interest would be coming down to the below 89k at a bare minimum. So it's all about catching the best risk to reward on this swing short at the moment. Do we hit the highs 1 time or 2 times? Does it push to 97 or push to 98? Well, we're gonna have to manage the situation here, of course, but this would be starting to look like a swing short territory. If the price breaks through successfully the highs, I need to give it a bit of room. Then it's when you need to analyze, okay, 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 4 and 5. You know, if you break and maintain above this high, you need to understand there's no double top. The wave 4 is here. This is the level that you want to get into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The fifth wave is after the stop is where you want to enter. On the fifth wave at levels of resistance, in this case 97k is where we have that naked point of control. So the weekly naked point of control is acting as resistance. There's no doubt about it. We can see that, right? It's just acting as resistance here, just below 96k. But I think, yeah, it's likely gonna pop out and test the highs. So anyway, about that short position, I was letting the community know today. Devil in the community has been doing the post. I'll be doing the post tomorrow to see if we're looking for either a good entry for the swing short, day trade long position. I have to say, we need to get that little bit of a pullback here. So if we do form a little bit of a flaggy scenario here in this zone, it could be looking interesting for that long position. Okay, so we've taken out that lower high probability that we are going to take out this high at some point, maybe in the next coming hours. Problem is the volatility that could be created here. Anyway, in the community, guys, remember, if you are interested, we've been working on this in the last few months. Devil is there, Dylan is there. Bigger community at the moment, a lot of people sharing charts, ideas. We share the education, the setups, the possibilities of the price of Bitcoin. Today's the last day, guys, for the 30-day trial. Okay, there's a 30-day trial, and you also get the trading playbook, which explains how to read market structure and high prob. Send me a DM with the word promo to follow the instructions so you can join for 30 days inside of the community that we've been working and combining the other products as well, just to have the one powerhouse with the coaches and, you know, big trading community. Of course, we're going to make 2026 absolutely phenomenal with this community, and it's your chance right now to see it for 30 days, guys. 30-day trial. All right, just send me the word promo to my Telegram, which is the first link, and let's hop you in for 30 days. All right, as a trial to see if you're like, hey, I kind of like this community, you know, many setups, good education, you get the playbook. Test it out, guys. You have me here open on the DMs. Not worth being greedy, says Meme Cat. You F around and you find out. You're damn right. What about the decision of Trump tariffs today can cause volatility? Also, absolutely, of course it can. Of course it can cause that volatility. We do have some news kicking in right now. So we've got New York Open, which we're getting this, well, local price action, nothing too major. Let's just quickly take a look at the ES, just out of curiosity. Not much going on at the moment on New York Open. A little bit of a pump and dump here in this little range. Not too interested here in the stock markerado. A little bit of a double top here from all-time highs, bit wicky, still forming higher lows, good structure. We cannot be bearish on the S&P 500. Too bullish. Let's go right away through the price of Bitcoin. We do have news kicking in right now in about 20 minutes. Not that I would say that existing home sales, maybe a bit of volatility. Yeah, PPI does not bring any volatility at all. With retail sales an hour ago, existing home sales might bring a little bit of volatility. I would like to see kind of a flash crash here. To rejoin on a possible another long. Overall, no shorts. I'm interested in shorts. They are mainly swing short positions, so there's time to manage, understand the local price action. I'm interested in shorts, no shorts, only holding a few longs from the last couple of weeks. Been adding a little bit to the position and taking most of the profits as well, and just mainly long here on Bitcoin. But I'm super interested in in shorting, guys. The shorts are starting to look attractive at this point. But the high is likely going to be taken. Let's see how we hit the highs. If we start getting exhausted on the highs, good chance we're going to take out those local highs again. Would be nice to get a little bit of a squeeze of late longs. This is the thing, right? You're kind of eager to long at this point. Or maybe there's too many shorts entering and it's just going to take out the highs on its own, right? CVD is going to be getting a few longs here, entering on Bybit. Yeah, you got. There is some longs entering. There is some longs entering. Not that we have exactly bearish CVDs, but a little squeeze here would be nice. That's where I want to position myself, understanding that if you do not take out the highs from this move up and it does reject, then the rejection is looking very, very attractive to get into the long, either here or either the SFP of the lows of the range, which is very, very common as well to get into that long position. So anyway, let's go through the comment section here 1 second. Much love to everybody. Let's get that like button absolutely destroyed. What's going on with the like button, you chicken nuggets? What's going on? Come on, guys. We can do better than that. We're under 200 likes. Over 400 people watching. Que pasa? Venga, vamos. I'm just going to stand up, get a drink of water, come round. We'll go through the comment section and we can probably take a look at some other altcoins, or shall we stick to Bitcoin? Stick to Bitcoin is the name of the game. BNB long for me now. 98k next target. It does look like it. Maybe it does have the potential. It does have the potential. This is the moment that we're looking for the exhaustion. So 98k. Let's see how we break the highs, right? The moment you break the highs and you start correcting down, we are finishing the move. We are getting to the end stages of the move. And that's how I would be reading this. You take out the highs, which I'm not expecting a massive move to 100k eventually, but maybe hit 97, maybe hit 98k, yes, but then correction. And if we do, I'm waiting for the price to literally form a little bit of exhaustion. The next highs need to be broken unsuccessfully. Really a patient game here when you are... I'm interested in shorts, but I'm in no shorts at the moment. Shorts could be looking very, very, very interesting in the next 1 to 2 days, guys. You're going to have to be a little bit patient here. Lots of shorts entering on Bybit a few hours ago at the lows of the range here. We can see this on the Delta. Man, 17 million short positions this morning here, entering at the lows. Also 8 million here, forming those big bullish CVD divergence, higher lows on price action. Shorts are not doing a great job here, and they're getting punished at the moment. So they're in doubt. People that are shorting here right now are like, ooh, I'm not too sure about my short position right now. What should I do? I think taking out the highs is the highest probability, as we know. So I would probably, if we do not SFP from the highs, which we probably won't, we're gonna have to see. It could be still very, very breaky, choppy. It's just unless you're getting into a short. This is the thing about the swing shorters at this moment. I can enter a 0.5 position here at 96 to 97k zone, and I'm just gonna stop loss at 100k, because ultimately I am looking for 89k and manage the trade. I've got 2% of dry powder. If I'm risking 0.5%, I can't exceed 3%. So if you want to kind of get into an accumulation short, I'm not always been a fan about this. If you're managing risk, you can do so, right? Just because you want to catch the high. But the moment it's going to look pretty solid is when you already have the movement up here, a correction, and then if you correct, you understand that you're going to take out the highs again. So then you're looking for the next double top, triple top, right? There will be one that gets the big move eventually. So it's all about detecting the corrections, most importantly here, right? Because you might have said, well, you know, I'm not in a short. I haven't shorted here in this pump because I'm paying attention to the movement down. This movement down looks very, very corrective. So, rather maintain some of the long positions eventually and be a bit more patient for the shorts, even though shorts are looking very, very attractive. Starting to look attractive doesn't mean that you need to jump in right now, but they're starting to look attractive. So I am in no shorts. What I'm looking for the shorts is, as explained, take out the highs. If we correct, we might take out the highs again. We're literally looking for that potential multiple 4-5s that could be on the formation. You have one more high here, you correct, then you take out the high again. Maybe you can stretch to 97, maybe to 98k. Maybe this wave 5 does stretch out significantly a little bit more, right? You just don't know exactly where it's going to reject. It might double top, it might hit the naked point of control, but this is the name of the game at the moment, looking for that exhaustion at this point, because the biggest move happened here. So let's see how the market goes here. But for the moment, highs likely to be taken. BNB, Solana, it seems like some altcoins are popping. Some altcoins are popping. Have been popping. BNB, nice little rally yesterday on BNB. You got a cup and handle situation here. Yeah, it want to be this. It does look like a little bit of a double bottom. Adam and Eve, nice breakout with high volume for the moment, maintaining above the resistance highs. Does look like it could push the momentum here in the case of BNB. Let's go through comment section in the next coming minutes. Bitcoin about to take out the highs again. About to take out the highs again, and depending on how we take out those highs, breakout here, high volume increasing. If you take out these highs and you do not succeed massively, which is what I would be expecting, yeah, hit 97, maybe stretch to 98k, but once you get this movement up that is getting exhausted and it rolls over, and when you get the correction after this move, right, say we hit 97 or 98, the most important thing when this decides to correct, like we did here after this movement to the upside, is that this latest move up has had decreasing volume from yesterday's rally, which means one thing: it's getting exhausted, right? So these last little legs up as we test the highs are super important, right? Regardless if you hit 97 or it's stretched to 98, getting the correction later on is where it's gonna, I would be happy to really study the movement down that we have, because if it does have a bearish move down in an impulse or multiple 1-2s, I would already activate my swing short. Depending on the movement down, if it looks corrective, then I understand that taking out the highs is very, very likely again. But yeah, you're just gonna have to see now in the next coming hours, next 1 to 2 days. But I will be looking to enter a swing short, because depending on the momentum, yes, this movement up could really, hit 98, right? 90, actually stretch out with increasing volume. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in getting into the short with increasing volume to the upside. So let's see how I would, we need at least one more rejection to be confident with decreasing volume on the breakout of the previous highs. That's the moment, guys, that this is coming to its end stages, very, very likely. After the next correction, whenever that happens, right? We're going to have to see that correction. But that's when it's coming to its end stages. Decreasing volume by taking out the previous high of the biggest move. Exhaustion here is very, very much expected, and the movement down would have high probability. Now, overall, the question here would be, is this movement down corrective, or did it move down very impulsively, right? To determine if it's going to be a higher low and go higher, as this is impulsive, or was it a finished structure to then, only come down here to lower prices? So a little bit too soon, as the price is breaking out the highs. Obviously, it's too soon to try and catch, right, the highs. Somebody said in the comment section at the beginning of the stream, I'm in a short right there. Well, I hope you did take profit, or you're out of the short, because the probabilities were high to take out the highs. And at the, in this given moment, you got a little bit of punchy price action to the upside, and shorts are not looking attractive. It's interesting to see. This is the thing right now. You're trying to catch the high. If you move down correctly in a staircase, right? Just keeping it simple. If you move down very staircasey, right? In the next move, right, with overlap, you're just likely going to take out the highs again. But that's the moment I'm going to start looking for the swing shorts. We need that correction similar in size to this one at some point. And that's when I realize that, okay, you're breaking the previous highs with decreasing volume, right? And that's when you look for it's topping out, right? It's getting exhausted. But let's see what the bulls have with this breakout, right? Because we might be surprised, and it shoots through to 98k plus. So, but more information is needed to be confident in that swing short. No longer in swing short, just remaining on the long positions that I have, and no swing shorts at the moment, or day trade shorts. It's just not even a day trade short I see. Would it be nice to maybe get a correction here to rejoin the party? But yeah, because we had bullish CVD divergence here, could you have entered a long position with stop loss at the low, re-entered again if you double bottomed? You could always rejoined a long position here. I didn't. I got a few long positions already from the last week, and I would have preferred a bit of more noise here, a bit more noise to get into that SFP of the lows. But anyway, you take out this lower high, then likely going to take out the high, which is happening at the moment. So breaking out, there's a little naked point of control at 97k, just slightly below 97k. Not that we don't have insane amount of levels, guys, I have to say. When we zoom out, there's not much levels when we consider point of controls, naked point of controls, and daily, weekly. Daily levels very, very high. There's no daily, no weekly. There's only one at 97k that I have. Maybe a couple of order blocks. A little bit of an order block here. Just at the bottom of 98k. So yeah, 98k is actually interesting because you got the lows with an order block here. So there is an order block. Let's just turn this. Let's turn this a little grayish. Get that 4-hourly order block here. Not that we have massive resistance. That order block could do something. Could do a little bit of something here. Naked point of control at 97k, just about to be hit. So we're breaking up with a bit of power at the moment. Breaking with a bit of power. Not interested in any shorts, legends. Anybody that has been shorting here and attempting to catch the Pico top with this very, very corrective price action, not worth it. Not worth it, at least for me. As explained, I just remain in the long positions. I'm interested in shorts, guys, but we're gonna have to need a couple of days and a bit of exhaustion here to start wanting to get into the short with a bit of a higher probability. This move naturally would have to peak out at some point, and once it peaks out and you move down, that's when I understand that the next move up that we've had here from previous highs, I mean, it's moving up with a bit of volume, I have to say. It's moving up with a bit of volume. But yeah, still, obviously, we do have, looking at the 1 hourly, still lower volume than yesterday, but it is stretching a little bit. The problem here, you know what would be a problem for the bears? Is that if you increase in volume in this latest move that we are getting right now, if you surpass with this movement up the volume that we have from here, if I had any short positions open, I would be a little bit concerned. I would be cutting the loss, because maybe the third wave is not in yet, because you have multiple 1-2s here. Maybe this is still part of your first wave one. Well, it wouldn't be. Yeah, I mean, it's an unlikely scenario. It's an unlikely scenario, but you never know. You never know. So the correction here, whenever it happens, the move down, you need to have a lower high here on the volume. Then you realize that this is high probability, starting to be a wave 5, wave 3 right there. If you get that sideways correction, then you're only looking for one more high, or maybe the high is in, depending on this movement down. But if you consolidate from this point, the breakout of the previous highs is poor. That's the classic exhaustion. Get the small little movements at the beginning, the big move, correction wave 4, wave 5s. You're coming into the exhaustion moment of the impulse. So yeah, if we correct down here in the next coming hours, it's going to be the moment to start getting into swing shorts. At least for me anyway. I'll be looking for entries, managing my trade, because I am interested. I'm just, as we're taking out the highs, it's just not the moment yet. Let's leave it that way. Not the moment yet to look for shorts. I know there was a couple of shorts at the beginning of the stream. I shorted here at 90, I don't know what it was, 95.5 or so. And, just detecting that this is likely a correction, guys, likely a flag or a pennant, right? And there was lots of shorts entering in the market, I have to say, a few hours ago. Muchos cortos. Lower lows here on CVD, mainly on Bybit. They are getting squeezed. They are getting squeezed out. People that were shorting down here, not the greatest zone to short when you have this very staircase, corrective-y, overlappy structure. Not a great idea. Rip to the shorters. Yes, indeed. rip to the shorters that are going in big, right? Because, you know, you can short, and if you're happy to risk, you know, lose 1% and take the shot, it's okay at the end of the day. But there's a lot of irresponsible traders out there. I know that. I've mixed with many. I was an irresponsible trader myself. And I think everybody has been an irresponsible trader in the past. But it's all understanding that no shorts to be taken. I only remain in the long positions from literally last week on a couple of exchanges, adding to the position, realizing the power of the breakout from yesterday with high volume. But it is not a bad idea to start collecting some more profits here at the local highs. Well, you know, I've been taking a lot of profits on the longs. You know, why not leave it? Just because we are moving up with high volume, we're breaking the previous highs, which I do really see that it's going to reject. If we reject a little bit right now and we range, it's going to be time to start collecting profits, and I'll be getting ready for the shorts. So let's give it a little bit of room here to stretch its legs, as long as we maintain above the previous highs, and as long as we do not get the rejection, right? This is the moment to take profits. Yes, you could hit one more high, but you know, we're looking for exhaustion here at this point. On the 15-minute time frame, there's actually more volume in this movement, but when we consider there's actually a little bit more volume here. It is increasing in volume on the breakout, at least on Coinbase. Let me just double check here on Bybit. There's actually more volume here on this movement than the move that we had not on Bybit. But on the futures exchange, we did have that wick. So it's on some future platforms, Bybit, Bluffin, potentially Binance as well. This is the thing on futures. It's going to be a little bit more wicky. Yeah, on Binance US dollar tether, we haven't even tested the highs. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh yeah, but I mean, I have to say, with the volume on Bybit US dollar tether, super unreliable, I have to say. Super unreliable. No volume at all here. It's just very spiky. I've always preferred either Bybit or Coinbase is very solid. Bybit US dollar perpetual has been very solid. But yeah, we got a bit of an increasing volume here throughout most of the exchanges from the highs that were created yesterday. It's a little bit interesting here. I think, you know, despite the volume, what will be important is if we do get the movement down from here. Then I would realize that, okay, even though we created a little bit more volume, it's likely going to be the 4-5, and maybe you create one more 4 and 5 wave here to then, you know, ultimately get the rejection in the next coming days. So yeah, price moving up here. Probably gonna form a little bit of an SFP situation. Yeah, interestingly enough, lots of longs entering at the highs. Even on Bybit, we got 13 million longs. Not the best zone. I'm happy to take more profits on the longs at this zone, guys. I have to say, not a great zone to pile into longs here at the highs. I think it's not a bad idea. Anybody that's been long, I'm still going to leave significant position open on the longs. But yeah, having, you know, lots of 4 million longs entering the 4 or 5 million. Yeah, not a bad idea to start collecting some profits from any longs that have been taken in the last few days here. Because yeah, this is the zone where most commonly you're going to start getting exhausted here in this range. So profits have to be taken if you've been long in the last few days. You know, looking for longs up here, you're really asking for it. You're really asking for it. If you're looking to get into longs and you're hoping that 98k, 100k, you know, 105k is going to be hit in the next coming days. It's a bit dangerous eventually to look for longs in this zone as a kind of a swing, right? If you're expecting 100k plus, and you know, it's just risk to reward is not great. It's not the greatest idea. Long should be managed from a few days ago, either adding to position, taking some profits on the movement up. I'm in no shorts at the moment, but I'm interested in shorts. If I do see clarity of exhaustion on the next movement, so we literally need to reject here, form a similar rejection to this one, that's the moment that I will realize that this is, you know, your wave 3, or either this is your wave 3, doesn't really matter because you could fit a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and this is your wave 3, but then you're only looking for one more 4 and 5. And you know, that's the moment it's going to be looking interesting. Depending on this, if it's corrective like this one today, this information is going to be the sweet spot of saying it's time to look for the swing shorts. This second correction that we get, if we get it, is going to be the moment of, you know, literally looking at possibly one more high, and that's it, regardless if it stretches a little bit to 98k or not. But I need that information because this move is going to be almost guaranteed, this movement down. And there's nothing guaranteed, right? I kind of feel a bit stupid saying that nothing's guaranteed, but it will be highly likely, right? High probability. So not yet. It makes sense to collect some profits from any long positions that have been taken. This was a long position from last Thursday that I compounded in, and I've compounded into that long. We literally catch the bottom of that long trade, and it's not even been a week yet. So it's been pretty damn good, if you ask me. This was on the live stream. This long position from here, we talked about a long position here also on Monday, sweeping these lows, right? The 5th wave down, just looking for a little bounce. I have to say, I wasn't expecting this because I was actually interested in shorts even yesterday. I had to cut that loss very quickly with the volume breakout. But on the stream, we provided a long here and a long from here. And this is the long that I still maintain, that I've compounded in a little bit on that long position. And I have to say, it is time to collect some profits on that long position. A little bit more as we go up. And we realize the potential of exhaustion starting in the next couple of days. You know, very likely that we start getting exhausted here in this zone. Not interested in shorts. I am looking for shorts. If I do see clarity eventually, it's more of a swing short, so it's a bit of a chilled scenario. I will be letting the community know, of course, if I'm not on a live stream. This is why it's good to be in a community where you get those updates. Now it is your time to get that 30-day trial, guys, for free. Send me a message right away in the Telegram with the word promo, and you just need to follow the instructions to get 30 days for free in the private community that we've been working in the last few months, myself, N-Devil, and the team. And you also get the trading playbook, where you have in the trading playbook how to read market structure and high probability setups, okay, which you also get for free. Send me a message with the word promo. Let's get you in the community 30 days and see if you like it or not, right? That's the whole idea. This is why we're giving 30 days for free, so that people can actually see the power and the education and the possible setups that we're looking at, reading the market, right, and identifying the probability scenarios. This guy talks out of his ass. If you sign up to the trail, you are dumb. Hey, calm down. We need communities. Trading is, hey, be nice to people. What's going on? What's the matter with you? What's all this about? What's all this about? Calm down, okay? We talk about scenarios. We are live every single day. We talk about the reading of the market. Oh, come on, mate. If you are new, give it a bit of time. Stick around and you'll realize what we talk about. Man, these haters. Not nice. Be nice to people. Come on. Much love, guys. We only want love here, okay? We only want love. And Anderson, come on, man. Be nice. I'm going to get you out of the comment section. I got my mods. They're probably having dinner. They left. So I'm going to have to kick you out myself. Delete him. Appreciate you and your time, Andy. I know. Maybe I do get these people that have very bad experience. This is a very, very sketchy world as well, where, you're going to see all sorts, right? I started the YouTube channel in 2020 and the only love and profits here. And I remember when I started, you guys know Carl the Moon, MM Crypto, I guess. It's the only channels that were there when I started back in 2020. I started in crypto in 2018. But now, man, you lift a rock and you're going to see a crypto channel, right? A crypto trading channel. The channel has been live since 2020. It's been a long time. It's been a long journey in crypto since 2018, in trading since 2017. And I do get it, right? I do get it. You're going to see a lot of people, right? This is a lot of people suddenly doing crypto analysis, and it's just insane, right? Just stick around with the ones that make sense, right? You don't need to be here. I'm just going to share a little bit of my analysis. If we find the setups, what makes more sense, education, see teaching what works, right? And then you take the decision. But don't come and hate here, man. Hey, you, don't come and hate on here, right? This guy talks out of his ass. Come on, you are definitely new. I've been here too long, man, for you to come and start bringing this hate on the channel. Screw you, piss off. Anyway, been watching you since 2021. Enough of that. Giving too much attention to this bum. Anyway, let's move on. Just manage your risk and you won't get wrecked. Exactly, right? You won't get wrecked. I'm just saying today as well. Hey, I'm interested in shorts. I'm not in a short. We understand that we're going to take out the highs. If we move up with high volume, we want to stay on the sidelines. I want that movement down, and then I would realize that this could start being the wave 3, right? But damn, we're moving up with high volume. Not interested in shorts. At the moment, right? I'm interested in shorts, but with what we have at the moment, which is we're popping out with volume, and maybe that kind of guidance and reading the market, just like yesterday, hey, not interested in being in the short. We broke out with high volume. We're probably going to move up. Wave 3 could be developing here. So it's all about not taking the wrong decision as well in trading, right? And preserving your capital, right? Protect the capital as well, which is most important, because damn, the people that are getting into shorts already, trying to catch the Pico top with the highest amount of volume. This is increasing in volume, guys. I have to say, I might have to eat up my words here that, I'm looking for the exhaustion, but if we don't get the exhaustion, what can I say? We're breaking out with high volume. Holy smokes. This might go to much higher levels. Volume increase. I don't know if the volume is going to break out. I don't know how we're going to break out from here. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to increase in volume. Nobody knows. You can obviously have your bias that is like, we're going to go to 100k plus all-time high, but this movement with increasing volume is getting intimidating for those people that are in the short already. I'm not in the short. I want a short. I know what I'm looking for the short. If that information is not given to me to take that short, I'm not taking it. Anyway, I really hope that it makes sense. I really hope that it makes sense. You guys, there's, people that are relatively new or have some experience as well that do get a little bit of the education, right? Right. Andrew, I lost 200 USDT operating bluffing. Can we get promo without referral link? We can probably sort you out. Send me a message and we'll probably sort you out one way or another. Okay. Move up, stop loss. Move up, stop loss. Seems like Victor here is talking about a long. It might go up. It may go down. What else is there? Well, the movement for the moment is looking strong. And there's no, it's, look, I love the comments of it might go up and it might go down. Just a couple of days ago, on Monday, we talked about, giving a chance on this SFP long position, right? Manage risk accordingly. I can't, we all grown ups here. I'm not here to babysit. I'm just here to provide the probabilities and what we want to look for on a short or a long position that I would be interested in taking. But ultimately, this was an interesting long position down here. We could talk about this long as well, but we ain't going to talk about all of the trades from the last 2 weeks. Just the recent one that I remember here on stream is this 5-wave move to the downside to look for this internal bounce that you could still maintain some of that position open and compound in as you do get the corrective moves to the downside of that long position, right? It's not about we can move up and down. We do get signs of where to get the possible setup. For me to look for the swing short, this needs to start rolling over, even though, man, we're moving up with high volume. What can I say? I was not expecting that, but because I'm not in a short and I understand I did not want to get into the short until next information, it's okay. It doesn't matter. I was not expecting increasing volume, at least from yesterday's highs. A little bit of increasing volume. But what I wanted to see is the move up with a decreasing volume and then a correction. That is already a good sign of exhaustion, right? That's the moment that you're already looking for the exhaustion move anyway. But as that is not happening, damn, I cannot get into the short. I cannot get into the short on increasing volume. And if it were to get a very strong rejection, I have to miss trying to catch the Pico top. We'd have to see a solid move down here in a 5-waver, even though this could be a flat. But yeah, regardless, I need a bigger strong move down, literally. And then the corrective bounce. Then we can start looking for shorts. Then we would understand that this was a fake out. But shorts at the moment are not looking great. They're not looking great, guys. And this is why, there's no short. Could you have gotten into a long position? You can attempt these kind of higher lows with bullish CVD divergence. I mean, I have to say, I like sweeping the lows. This would have been an okay entry. But long in here, in this zone is cheeky. It is complex. Break of trend, literally. And there was a lot of shorts entering here in this zone. Bullish CVD divergence. So if you're longing in this area, you got your bullish CVDs backing up. And if you take out the lows and break them, sometimes you need to take 2 trades. It does happen to me many times where you're waiting for a pivot to be hit because you just like the confluence and the combination of the waves, right? I want to get into long here, but then the price doesn't take that low. If you're still liking that long, you can join the long position and have a stop loss here. If it breaks that level, then you're protected, you got a little loss, and you're not longing, right? Oh, it's breaking down, right, from the low, fair value gap, whatever, right, level of support, the previous day value area high and value area low, which we did have here as well, has very good support. We actually got the bounce here early this morning already, at the previous day value area high. We already got that bounce, I have to say. Let's go to the 30-minute here 1 second. This was a bit too early for me, but when we get the session volume profile, we literally bounced today at the previous day value area high. So yeah, we literally got that bounce today, very early this morning. But you realize if you come back down there, this is just a big support here. So it has happened to me that, if I'm feeling a bit aggressive and I want to just, I have enough capital and I've had some awesome weeks, I might consider an aggressive long trade in this zone. I realize this is support. I realize I'm interested in an SFP here. And if I get stopped out with 1%, I would probably get into more in that position with 2% stop loss. So I'm getting stopped out from the first one, but this one, if it is going to play out, well, eventually, recovering your stop loss position. But you had some bullish CVDs. There were bullish CVDs, lots of shorts entering here on Bybit. They're getting punished at the moment. It's so interesting to see this, guys, because bullish CVDs it means it's creating more liquidity, right? It means that people are shorting, and it's nice to see the small fish shorting in a corrective move, because it's just gonna give higher probability to move up and take out the highs, right? So checking out the delta or the CVD is extremely important when you're forming a corrective structure. You just realize, I'm not going to short here. I'm not going to short. Looking for longs is, can be a little bit tricky because you already had a big move yesterday and the last couple of days. So I know a lot of people are going to be more interested in looking for shorts. It's a fake out. It's a fake pump. When you have increasing volume, holy smokes, I would be very, very cautious with shorts at the moment. I'm interested in shorts, doesn't mean that I'm going to enter a short. And this is the difference of people that are getting into shorts, and they're going to add to the short position. If I would have entered that short position with 0.5, I would have exited here. I'm not adding to the position, or I would literally get out, because we're having increasing volume from the big move, and that's concerning. That is without a doubt concerning. If you had a big move here with high volume, and when you compare it from the last few weeks, this is big volume that's coming in right now. If the movement up today is getting even bigger volume, who knows how this can develop, right, in between today and tomorrow. So the key game here for the short is a big rejection from here, similar to this one. Then I would say, okay, it doesn't matter. This wave, finished. Then what makes, I'll tell you what we could be looking at here, which I have on the chart, right? Which is this, which is kind of expecting that this would be a corrective wave 4. This is still the wave 3, which we're going to put here like this. So from this low, you have your wave 1, wave 2, another wave 1, wave 2, another little wave 1 and 2. You need to go through lower time frame here. This big move with high volume, and then this one with more volume, which is still okay, because ultimately, when you zoom out, all of this should be part of the third wave, because you literally have a 5 waver when you go to the lower time frames here. So it kind of makes sense that you have increasing volume. The moment that this price action gets the correction without getting follow through to 99, 100k, I would not expect that. The moment we get the movement down in the next coming hours between today and tomorrow beneath this low and we start ranging, time to look for shorts. I'm going to start looking to get into that swing short, because we either correct down in the next week and then move higher, or we move down impulsively. We're going to have to see how we move down, basically, but you want to be positioned on the move down regardless if it's going to be corrective or if it's going to be impulsive. We just don't know. But I would want to be positioned, if possible, from higher. But we need that exhaustion. As you know, community will be updated if I'm not live on the swing trade idea. And for this swing, I'm going to obviously give a bit of room, because the risk to reward is just really, really big, with the potential of coming down below 89k. Wherever the short is, I mean, the stop, you got a bit of room here to play around when you have a swing short. But I would say that we at least want to see that exhaustion here, and then maybe you take out the highs one more time. It doesn't matter. You can, this trade could go slightly in the loss, slightly in the profit. It's one of those trades that's going to last maybe a week or two. Well, we're gonna have to see. Let's get that exhaustion first of all, which we are not getting at the moment with this leg up with high volume. It's going to be interesting. Community will be updated. Remember, you got that 30-day trial, guys. Send me the word promo. You just need to follow the instructions. You get the playbook as well, trading playbook, market structure, and high probability setups explained as well in the trading playbook for free, guys. You just need to follow the instructions. Send me promo to my Telegram, and we can sort you out, legends. Okay, much love to everybody. It's your time right now. We've been working on this for the last few months, myself and Devil, okay, getting this community together and combining the different products to be the cherry on top, guys. Okay, take advantage of that 30-day promotion at the moment. Let's go. On Bybit hourly chart, it's lower low volume, while on Coinbase it's higher high volume. What does this mean? Just because Coinbase is the biggest exchange of the biggest country in the world, right? Not the biggest, but you would say not the richest country, but yeah, the one that has the big money, right? I like Coinbase because it's from the United States, and United States has the biggest stock market in the world, right? So obviously Coinbase is the biggest exchange there. And the volume is importante. Binance futures, and it's very wiki, and it's very, I don't know, I don't trust Binance, guys. What can I say? I don't trust the volume. I don't trust the moves. I don't trust the wicks. But yeah, big volume has been coming in here for sure. This could mean one thing, that if we do get that correction here, it's the wave 3, literally. I would be labeling it as the top of the wave 3. It's just inside of your wave 3. The highest volume came in on your wave 5, which is okay. It's still the higher time frame wave 3. But we need that move down. We need that move down here without continuation. And I can tell you already that that would be the first sign that we're getting exhausted here to roll over. So let's see, if this continues pushing and we do not get that correction, and it just really continues pushing with high volume, there's just no solid way, at least for me, to get into a short when you have increasing volume after breaking the previous high, despite that you have the golden pocket or the biggest monthly naked point of control on the chart. Levels are there to be broken. So market structure is bullish. The trend is very bullish. Volume is increasing. The bulls do have a chance to squeeze up a little bit more. And trying to catch the high is like, it's challenging when you're breaking up with high volume. So I know what I need to look for. I only need that pullback from here. Then I know that, okay, that's it. That this is the fifth wave ending story that's happening. and potentially you get one more high eventually, just because you have a couple of 1-2s here. So maybe one more high, and then you look for the pullback. So, but we need that information, right? I need that information. This breakout needs to chillax, right? It needs to hang on a minute. This ain't going nowhere. This is the big move. So once that information is given, it's going to be looking good for the exhaustion, right? Boop, 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 roll over. But that's not the case at the moment. Breaking up with high volume. So yeah, we're just going to let it go, right? Let it do what it needs to do. And in the next 1 to 2 days, I would say, the information will be enough for me to decide if this is likely going to be a fake out, right? And well, fake out of the ascending triangle, right? Which maybe there's a lot of eyes right now on the ascending triangle, right? We're going to 108k, which it could, but I don't think it's going to happen. And see if it is going to be a good decision to enter a short in the next 1 to 2 days. I'm more interested in the swing here. I'm interested in the swing, but the swing short. Not interested in any local scalps at the moment. I'm really interested in the swing movement down to potentially take out 89 and maybe 87. But let's remain a little bit patient. Let's take a look at any Fibonacci levels out of curiosity, because we do have that order block on the 4 hourly just in this zone. Not many levels above us. There is above 105. We've got a couple of dailies and point of controls, yeah, but below 101k there's not that much. Little reaction now at this naked point of control, but it's very fresh, right? Naked point of control at just slightly below 97k. It's getting a little stop here on the lower time frame. I just want to check here the Fibonacci from all-time high. I want to check some VWAPs as well. The 382 Fibonacci is coming in at 98k. Muy interesante. Muy interesante. The long position that I got in, which was provided on stream last Thursday, which was this little pivot right over there. One of the reasons of confluence was the 382 from the low to the high. One of the reasons, right, of the confluence, it wasn't the general reason, but from this low to this high of the range, the 382 was one of the reasons, apart from the SFP and the golden pocket from this move, right? And analyzing the local time frame. But so yeah, the 382 Fibonacci from the overall movement down from all-time high, looking at the 4 hourly chart, is at 98k, and we're very close to that level, right? So it could be the first zone, 98k, with that 4 hourly order block. Also, yeah, 4 hourly order block right there. With the lows, you know, you got the support as well, resistance flip. And that's coming in where the 382 is. Fibonacci from all-time high to the low. Kind of makes sense to start getting exhausted here. It's going to be very interesting, guys. I think the next couple of days will really confirm the probability, like increase the probabilities of getting the reversal here. The question is, will this reversal form a higher low again, or will it take out the higher lows? 89, 87. But, you know, regardless of what happens, we are very likely going to be understanding that a correction is coming very soon. With the information that we get in between today and tomorrow, it's not too long we do have to understand that information. Not too long. As explained, we only need that pullback, right? Something similar to this. something similar to this over here at some point, regardless if it goes higher or not, and start getting beneath this high, then yeah, I have no question about it, right? You're looking at the end stages of the movement. So we're gonna see. No shorts as of yet. I'm not interested in any scalp shorts, I have to say, for little movements of $300-400. Not interested in that. I'm interested in this move. I'm interested in, and I need a bit more information for that short, either for a higher low or either to take out the low. It doesn't matter, but we are going to try and be positioned just as you are positioned from. This is my latest one. Any trades that I took here, they're closed. My latest one was from last Thursday, and compounding into a couple of trades from that zone. I didn't get into this long from Monday, basically, not last Monday, 2 days ago. It's been 2 days only, guys, and we've pumped up $7,000. This is like the old Bitcoin. We're starting to get some big moves finally, right? But the reason I didn't get into this long is because I already was in a long here and I wanted to compound. But it was another good entry to enter here, as explained on Monday, just to be positioned, right? Then you can compound as you go up into that trade. Very, very difficult for any new longs here. I have to say, you kind of need a FOMO in. Longs preferably are taken at, specific levels on higher lows, confluence. For me, it's very, very difficult to jump into a long here. Very, very difficult unless you're looking at the 1 minute time frame and you are detecting those corrective little structures to jump in. Then then you can. For me, it's not that. Not great when we got volatility. I would rather be inside of the volatility already. But there are ways, of course, to jump into these corrections. Don't get me wrong here. There are ways of reading. This would have been a great long, as explained yesterday. Right there. As explained at the beginning of the stream, sorry. Anyway, let's go through the comment section. Let's go. 600 people watching. Much love. Thank you for being here, guys. Much appreciated. No ruling today. Delayed again. Well, it's not over yet. Apparently, it's not over yet. Gold sell trade active. Watch ICT Nora FX live now. Hey, no promotion here, my man. You're going to get kicked out. Screw you. These guys. These guys. You're going to get kicked out. Behave. Spot ETF inflow pumping. This to the moon. Apparently it is. Elliot. I did promo and got banned on Telegram after asking for the trading book. Don't worry, my man. I'll try and sort you out. Okay. Be nice, guys. You need to be nice. Be nice. If you just ask for the trading book, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You won't get kicked out just for asking for the trading book. Come on. I'll sort you out. I'll sort you out. Send me a message. Tell me it's Elliot from the live stream. Smart Money. Hola. How are you? Much love to you. Let's go. Let's go. On the move up. Is this wave 3? Yes. The point now is when to close my bots. Keep rocking or we will bleed from Friday as usual. Depending on your bots or, grid bots, if that is. I'm not sure if you're saying that they are in profit or at a loss. This is the classic moment where grid bots are going to be in a loss. Okay? It's the classic. Check out your grid bots, how they're doing with this pump, guys. Yeah, I've tested many different bots in the past. Even for long term, and it's when they get volatile moves that they usually crash. But I can tell you with my experience using these different bots, unless you program it that you want to buy more at the lows and sell less at the highs, then if you can program the bots into an uptrend or a downtrend as well. But grid bots, which is usually range, where they just short the highs aggressively, grid bots, the shorts from the grid bots right now are going to be a little underwater. They might be okay, because it is true that we are looking for the exhaustion at this point, so it might just play out. But yeah, the grid bots. Do you trade commodities, silver or gold? No, mainly Bitcoin. Bitcoin is my main 95% is Bitcoin. 95% is Bitcoin. Maybe if I see something on Ethereum or an altcoin that one of the coaches I've shared in the community, I might jump in, but I mainly try and focus on Bitcoin trading. I try to get into an intraday and maybe turn it into a swing. But yeah, mainly Bitcoin. Bitcoin is my main asset, right, that I look to trade. Am I banned? Comments are not showing on the screen. No, I can see you right over here. Bring those comments in right away, guys. I'm just going to do a like recount. I'm just going to go around the table, get a drink of water, and we'll continue with the comment section, okay? We've got over 600 people watching, only 250 likes. Do us a favor. Roll over down here. Smash up the like button if you do enjoy the content, the education, what I'm looking for. I'm interested in shorts. No longer in shorts, but I am interested. I need that exhaustion happening here right now. As explained, looking good here, getting a little bit of a reaction. It's not enough. Want a long consolidation so I can detect that we could be potentially forming already the next fourth wave, right? And then that's it. We're looking for the price to literally start, getting exhausted in the fifth wave territory zone, right? For the bigger pullback. And hopefully you do like the education. You do see it makes sense. It does make sense because I'm just reading the market, what we have in front of us. But hopefully you do see the value. And for that, you just smash up the like. Just going to get a drink of water, go around the table, stretch my legs. I'll get that like button smashed. Let's go. Well, that like button is getting smashed. Vamos! Woo! Let's go through the comment section. See what's going on. 15 days, no response. Censor my honest fact about support. One pillar, like it or leave it. It is the truth. Send me a message, okay? Send me a message on the Telegram. Okay, say me it's Diesel and I'll help you out, okay? We've got a lot of inflows coming at the moment, okay? So it is true that, the team can struggle, okay? But send me a message. Don't worry about it. 15 days. Don't believe it. Amazing TA as always. Trick, much love to you. Thank you, my man. Hi, Andy. Ethereum, please. Guys, how we take a look at Ethereum, I'm going to put a poll here. What crypto, even though I am mainly Bitcoin and I love just staring at Bitcoin and understanding what I need to see next. Nice, where we at. We did get lots of shorts entering right now on Bybit. They're probably going to be creating some insane bullish CVDs. Holy smokes. People want to short. They're fake out. This is not great. I mean, these shorts could have open interest, maybe. No, open interest is low. So lots of shorts getting in some bullish CVD divergence at the moment on Bybit. Holy smokes. Lots of shorts entering the market. People want to catch the Pico top. People are trying to catch the top. Will they succeed or not? I'm not going to be participating in that game. I like sometimes trying to catch the top if it makes sense. but it doesn't make too much sense at the moment, at least for me. Let's go, let's go. I don't believe it yet. No, truth hurts. Well, send me a message, okay? I'll look to sort you out. This is me, okay, in the Telegram, and I'll look to sort you out. Just tell me it's Diesel here. I'll be like, okay, Diesel, don't worry. Let's go through your case. DJ, dale, much love. Let's go. Hervas, saludos desde Arizona. 2 days with no response. Yeah, we got a lot of messages, okay, so I need to handle this. I got someone helping me with the messages, but don't worry, they will be getting read. There's lots of people been joining in already, okay, so don't worry. It's just it just takes time. There's lots of inflows. We'll sort you out, don't worry. I love USA. Thank you, Trump. Sundog. No chillax, Andy. Big pump. It's well overdue, says Paul. Well, I mean, if we were to continue the pump momentum, as I am in no shorts, I would only be happy for the pump to rip, really. But I understand that this is the zone of getting exhaustion. It should be the zone of getting the exhaustion at the moment. We just need to see it, right? The moment I see the next higher highs, right? You got move up, higher high, lower high, higher high, lower high, big move, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. You know, this is very, very common, the zone where it's losing the power. And that's where it becomes interesting to look for the bigger move to the downside, right? Interesting. I mean, there has been some longs entering the market here, as well as the price has been moving to the upside. And I know 382 is an interesting sniper. I mean, I would say that maybe the 382 with the low of the order block on the 4 hourly, if we do correct down a little bit and then we take out the highs again, I might attempt to sniper the 382, only the 382. If we get above the 382, which is exactly 98k, I'm not going to be in the short. I won't be adding to the short. I'm not going to do any of that nonsense that can get you wrecked. So I might sniper the 382 only if we do get that correction and then another high formed, right? Maybe this could be the 5th wave getting to its end stages. So yeah, we'll see. 382 could be an interesting sniper trade, because the 382 from the lows, if you would have jumped into the 382 Fibonacci last Thursday from the lows to the highs, you're in the money. If you would have got into the 382 from this move, right, you're in the money here. So the 382 from all-time high is an interesting level. I would expect with high probability that it's gonna react at that level. So it's gonna stop, get a little correction at least of $500 at a bare minimum from 98k. Anybody that wants to scalp it, but the question is, will it be the level that gets the bigger rejection or not, or just a small reaction and then pop out? If it pops out, you need to manage risk. You want to get out. But yeah, interesting where it is with the order block on the 4 hourly. Interesting. Now, if we do stretch to 98k, I might consider sniping that level. Let's go through los comentarios. Long now. Man, I'm really not that interested in doing much here. unless you're really looking at, I'm really trying to cover the bigger swing scenario, like the rejection of $4,000, $5,000, maybe $6,000 in the coming days, and these little movements. Scalping is very, very challenging, guys. If you know, scalping is challenging. But yeah, looking at this local move down, yeah, if you overlap this pivot low, if you get above that pivot, this is very likely just going to be a 3-waver. Maybe you form a little range, but then you have a good chances of looking good to take out the highs again. But it's just too shallow on the 3-minute, because you could form a 3-wave up, 3-wave down, 3-wave up, 3-wave down, double zigzag, and then get the move. Maybe then USFP from here. That would be a nice, interesting long if you're looking for a scalp. Double zigzag to the downside, looking at the 3-minute chart. If you overlap this pivot, which you are, so it's, you know, if you're long in here, you have the danger of being exposed to the downside. So it's, if we do correct from here in another zigzag, then this higher low is a good SFP with the fair value gap, because you realize that this movement is corrective. As the third wave didn't manage to push through here, and this is lower time frame, guys, so you want to be very cautious with this reading as well. But 3-wave down, you move up, you're getting people long in the breakout, and then you smack down, and then you get the pump. That's an SFP long position. You need the SFP so you have a stop beneath the fake out, and you're targeting the highs, because that's the high probability. But that would be the trade, the reading of the 3-minute. 3-wave down, 3-wave up. Okay, this is not an impulse. Boom, boom. Yes, it could take out the highs directly. Well, then, you know, you're just getting exposed to the risk of a slightly longer correction before it takes the highs. So it's better to wait, even though you don't get the trade. You might not get it. It just takes out the highs. But if you do, then you realize that that's a high probability trade, because all of this is likely corrective. To enter, stop loss, get the movement, and it's easy to manage as well. Good risk management. That would be the even though this is 3-minute, right, 1 minute, it can be very, very noisy. But yeah, this for sure does look like a correction with this movement up. So this SFP becomes interesting. This does become an interesting long. Fair value gap. This looks corrective. So you've got zigzag down, correction, whatever happens here. And if you do zigzag down into this level, it's going to be looking interesting. But yeah, understanding as well the slightly higher time frame. Longs, getting into longs at this point, you know, you are getting exposed. You need to manage risk. Look for sniper trading setups on SFPs, fair value gaps, because, you know, this is going to roll over at some point, right? At some point, it's very, very likely going to get the bigger pullback, right? You're going to get the bigger pullback at some point, right? The symmetry right now is pointing out that, you know, looking for longs now here, you need to manage risk very, very well and look for very selective longs with good risk management, because at some point in the coming days, you have a good chance that you're gonna get the pullback, right? So yeah, that this fair value gap makes sense if it were to come down. fair value gap, sweep the lows, zigzag down. You've taken out this high, so probabilities are good to take out the highs again with the reading. Problem is, if you're long here, you know, where's your stop? You know, is it worth to get into this long here right now with stop loss beneath the lows? Risk to reward 1-to-1, even less. I don't know, man. If you're putting a stop here, you're getting asked to be stopped. This is the 1 minute. Need more information. I would rather look for this, as I understand that this is a 3-waver. It's still very fresh. You're overlapping this pivot, so any bounce from here looks like it's going to take out the highs, and then it boom 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 zigzags down to the lows. This would be a good SFP, fair value gap, higher low, high volume, and then you got much better exposure. I mean, you can always long, you know, if you're happy with a stop loss, but you need to get out at the highs. I don't fancy these stop losses, these entries. Yes, it's a high probability to take out the high, but you know, risk to reward is not that great. 3-wave structure now here, overlapping this pivot, corrective, likely corrective. So your bias is to take out the high, but these are very 3-wave corrective structure doesn't mean you need to take out the high directly. You could form a zigzag up and a zigzag down, double zigzag. You could form zigzag down, zigzag up, and then you form a flat, and then you take out the highs. But yeah, the bias is to take out the highs here locally, as this is likely a correction. So the moves down are, you know, they are looking corrective. The moment on the lower time frame, you get a movement that starts like this, like this, and then this. Now you're talking, right? Now you're talking that the bears could start taking control in the next coming days. And this is the 1 minute, guys, right? When you zoom out, this is like nothing, right? It's the first initial possible movements on the lower time frame, where then the bounces, if they do look corrective, then that's it, right? Move down aggressively, increasing volume, bear flag, right? That's where it looks interesting for the movements down. But for the moment, it is up and three down, right? Up and 3 down. So just taking out the highs currently at the moment. Shorters are really having a bad time here in the last couple of days. That is for sure. Shorters are not very excited with this price action, which, you know, there's no reason to get into a day trade swing short unless you're getting into a scalp, you know, which is obviously needs a lot of attention. I'm looking for a chilled swing short, which we don't have it yet. We don't have it. We will have it in a couple of days, I say. We will have it in 1-2 days. The information needed for the short will be given in 1 or 2 days, if it is available. What about yearly opening at 97.3? That's interesting. Let's take a look. Momentum has shifted after months. Momentum is strong now. 98k or 100k or 108k. Don't get wrecked, guys. Sungo Dog. Yeah, momentum is bullish. Till not proven the exhaustion, we cannot say that I'm interested in shorts. But as explained, we need a bit of more information on the exhaustion, right? The breakouts are getting increased volume. Even on the 4-hourly right now, we're having more volume than yesterday's highs. Volume is increasing. So this really needs to exhaust here in this zone, despite having high volume. It doesn't matter. Once we get this kind of price action, then we can talk about the rollover. But for the moment, yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? When we're streaming, we're looking to take out the highest probability, you know, today was to take out the highs. How are we going to take out the highs? We don't know. Will we double top? If we do maintain above the highs still with high volume, then we just look for the price to go higher. I just subscribed today. Do you only trade with BTC? Yes, sir. BTC is my main asset that I look for trading, okay? I don't trade silver, other cryptos very rarely. I focus mainly on one asset. You know, you only need to be a pro in one asset really if you want to try and scratch some dollars off the market. You know, I have 3 screens. I'm not the guy that has, 10 screens on I've got 3 screens, just to take a look at, CBD and higher time frame and lower time frame on the chart and analyze the waves and that. But I know it's lucrative, of course. Sometimes taking a look at some altcoins, if I see something clear, then then I would maybe trade it. But 95% of my trading is just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just the main one where I'm looking for trades. You very rarely going to see me in a trade on 3 or 4 cryptos. Very rarely, unless it's very obvious, but not usually. Bitcoin is the main one. So yeah, thanks for the education, Andy. Love it. Much love to you. Thank you very much for the kind comment. Always have a great explanation, Andy. Alpha, yeah, thank you. It's been many years. It's going to be 8 years. No, sorry, 9 years now. 2017. Yeah, early 2017 now. It's going to be 9 years in the game. And it's just experience. I have my bad trades as well. Well, not bad trades as long as you manage risk. I had to cut a trade in a loss yesterday, guys. It's like it's part of the game as long as you can manage the trade. But I was looking to short yesterday. I entered a short position, giving the chance just because of the reading here that we had. If there was a chance yesterday, it had to be at the golden pocket. Understanding the combination of the waves here, there was a chance to try and catch the Pico top. My stop loss was up here, but we popped out with high volume, and I said, I'm out, guys. I'm out because with the other bullish scenario, which we consider, is having multiple 1-2s and breaking out in a third wave. And when you get the breakout of the highs, golden pocket from the low, and with increasing volume, and what I understand always with my experience is you don't know how far a wave 3 can go. Even though that, yeah, we had some resistance levels here, but when you're breaking out with increasing volume, it's like, holy smokes. If this is a wave 3, I literally don't know where it's going to end. And this is the problem as well. When Elliott wave theory, it's really great to trade a reversal in a wave 5 when you can detect the exhaustion. Of course, you need the exhaustion. You need the 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. It's fun to trade a wave C as well. It's fun to trade a wave 2, right? Wave Bs are very, very complex. Wave Bs can be an absolute mess, or wave Xs can be a very, very big mess. They are very, very complex. This right over here can be either a WXY, which is very, very complex in this range. If this is a wave 1 in a leading diagonal, this is a wave 2, you have a bit of a mess here. You got a flat, a bounce in a WXY for your wave X. So you got wave W, and then you got your wave Y in a triangle. They can be very, very tricky, and just very, very noisy and very hard to trade. But yeah, I mean, the latest one was from Monday, right? What can I say? We were really looking at this to be a 5 waver to the downside, and we understand this based on the price action. The moment you consolidate after a big wave down with high volume. This was high volume back on Monday after we got this, but it was a high volume move. Once you get the stop after the high volume move, which is what we're looking at now on the higher time frame, this is the 5-minute time frame. Now we're zooming out to the 1 hourly, and this is what we are looking to detect for the swing shorts, right? The wave 5. But because it's the 1 hourly time frame, you know, you need to zoom in on the 15-minute, the 5-minute. Do we have one more wave, right? Because inside of these waves, right, you do have you know, technically more waves, right? So I mean, the other day we were looking for this to not get a successful breakdown, right? Looking for, you know, the 5th wave to get a bounce here, to get above the 4th wave at a bare minimum, right? Then obviously, hey, this, you know, we leave some open, of course, and maybe compound into that long in the next coming days. If this ends up being part of a flat, we don't know, right? You're interested in this long on the bounce, and we'll see with the next information. I always say leave some open, right? Take 50-60% of profits, leave some open, because those are the kind of the trades that will get you into that swing long, which is the ones, you know, my main trade from last week long wasn't originally a day trade, but I managed to hold on with, you know, 40% of the position and managed to compound it a little bit as we were moving up to get into this possible 3rd wave and get this momentum to the upside, right? These trades, this one was originally from here of last Thursday, compounded in, could have compounded more, but then maximizing as much potential here, getting out of the short directly, and just maintaining the longs at the moment, as shorts are not looking too attractive with the information that we have, breaking the highs, volume increasing. Yeah, you know, it's just not. We'll get that short, guys, not to worry, but we want to save, we want to preserve capital eventually, because, you know, you only have certain bullets, right? When you're trading, you only have a certain amount of bullets. If you're risking 10% on each trade, you only have 10 bullets, right? And you don't want to attempt too many shorts when the price is breaking out with high volume, and, you know, there's no signs of reversing at the moment. Initial signs of getting exhausted. There are initial signs. This is why I mentioned on the stream that I am interested in shorts, because I realize that this could be, you know, the biggest move happened in the last, you know, since from Tuesday, basically yesterday. And it is common to get exhausted after the bigger move, but with this increasing volume, we're going to have to wait for the short. We're going to have to wait for the pullback, and then with that pullback overlapping the highs of yesterday, it's going to look very, very good, very, very good to start getting ready for that bigger pullback, okay, in the next coming days. But that is not the case at the moment, so just going to have to wait for that price action to develop. So anyway, yeah, the reason why I talked about that on the 5-minute, right? We were going through this, right? We're literally looking at this 5-wave move to detect the 5th wave to get into the reversal, regardless if it's going to shoot, right, or get a little move. In this case, about $1,000. On the higher time frame, we're literally doing the reversal. Instead of down, looking at it up, but on the higher time frame, right? When do we get the 5th wave extended and finishing? And obviously on the 1 hourly time frame is when you need to consider the waves of the lower time frame, which is if you have a 1-2 and another 1-2. And if you go to the 15-minute, you can fit another 1-2 here. And if you have increasing volume, you need to understand that maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is still with increasing volume part of the third wave, and this is, maybe still has a few more punches to the upside. We don't know. Maybe this third wave, maybe this fifth wave inside of the third wave is going to be an expanding fifth wave, which has why does that have a possibility? Because you have increasing volume on the breakout of yesterday's highs. So looking to get into a short here is just taking the chance to, you're just literally open to give money to the market, right? It's just not the greatest. When we started the stream today, I liked the idea that there's a high probability in taking out the highs, okay? My idea here was we take out the highs and, we break out with decreasing volume, and then we get the correction, and then that's looking wonderful, guys. This is like really good. It's getting exhausted. The breakouts, the biggest move was yesterday. Now we're getting smaller moves, and it's time to think about the rollover. But if we break out the highs with increasing volume, guys, I'm sorry, I don't know where this is going to end. This might be an expanding fifth wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're just going to have to stretch out the impulse. Third waves, as mentioned, they can be very, very punchy. They can be very, very punchy. You just don't know if you have a breakout of the potential third wave with increasing volume. Holy smokes, this is maybe going to extend to the 3.618 extension from your wave one. This has already hit the 2.618 extension. So, you might even come up to the 3.618 extension, which is this one right over here. That's coming in at, 99.5. If you have increasing volume, you have the potential of an expanding fifth wave, which would still be the third wave because you have 1, 2, 3. But with an expanding fifth inside, we need that pullback, guys. We need that first wave, that wave 4 to enter at some moment to then say, right, now is the moment that we are getting exhausted, right? As long as you move higher, breaking the previous high with increasing volume, holy smokes, I don't know where this is going to finish. So you don't need to know the exact high to short. You just need to know, okay, once this gets the pullback, this is coming to its end stages, counting the waves. That's it. And that's where it's going to become interesting to say, okay, this is already getting exhausted, right? We're looking for that rollover, unless you suddenly get a massive dump like this in a matter of a couple of hours, which doesn't usually happen. It doesn't usually happen. So, right, market moves in waves, right? So you would expect a wave up, down, right? Bit of break of structure to then, position yourself either in double tops or either on the break of structure on the bounce. Because you're not going to just do this, right? For all of those people that are expecting it's going to roll over, I'm shorting, I'm adding, it's a bad idea. With current price action breaking out the previous highs with volume, it's a bad idea to pile up into shorts, because we could stretch to 98, 99. Just don't know. So you need the information of exhaustion here, which will be given, right? It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and there will be a safer way to position yourself in a short instead of jumping into a short here and then piling up. You don't have a solid invalidation if you're breaking up with high volume. it's just going to go up. So you need that exhaustion, which will happen at some stage, which will be much easier to position yourself in a short. BC's volume is increasing. It is indeed. Let's go. Much love to everybody. Mucho amor y cariño To everybody here on the stream, thank you for joining. Thanks for smashing up the like button. 300 likes. My goodness. Por fin. We managed to get above 300 likes. Holy smokes. Much love to everybody. Hey Andy, thoughts on the FVG at 97.4? Let's see. It's just, I mean, what can I say? You know, trying to speculate here on that rejection at the 97.4 is really super chat up. Okay, sorry about that. If I do have a super chat, we cannot miss the super chats. RVM3, much love to you, my man. Hi Andy, why not a 98k big swing short 2x? 98k is when we do have the order block right there on the 4 hourly, right? We are sweeping up the highs of these little ranges at the moment. Yeah, we do have that order block, and we do have the 382 Fibonacci, which is anybody that is feeling aggressive. I mean, to start entering a swing short, what can we say? Let's take a look at the 50 weekly moving average, because I'm sure that's not too far away. That's at 101. You know what they say about the 50 weekly moving average, right? You break it out, bear market, you come back up and test it, and then you roll over again, right? I'm interested in the VWAP, but yeah, the 382 of all-time high to the pivot low is sitting at 98k. I would say that 98k is going to get a reaction because of the low of the order block and the 382 Fibonacci from all-time high. Little reaction, regardless if it's a little range or a little correction of a $500 to $1,000 maybe. But yeah, I have to say, because I'm looking for a swing short, the information that is given at this current moment by breaking out the highs with high increasing volume is not what I wanted to see for the exhaustion. It's snapping out right now with high volume. Holy smokes, this could be an expanding fifth wave, as explained on, when we're looking at the bullish case here. This could be an expanding fifth wave, and wave 3 was pretty big on its own, but you have volume increasing here. Holy smokes, this could actually really stretch its legs. So I'm looking for a swing short, but with this information that we have, it's not looking attractive just yet. And this game is a patient game, and realizing when you're wrong as well, and protecting capital, right? Overall, it's not all about winning. I had to give a little bit back to the market yesterday, but I got out, and I'm just realizing that the price eventually is breaking out with good volume. So it's a patient game. For the moment, the bulls are pushing hard despite any levels you have to the upside. Yeah, the 382 is great, but this is really squeezing up. No exhaustion, breaking yesterday's highs with high volume. The market we know that movements down are very ferocious, right? Movements down, right, are very, very aggressive. But I don't think that will happen overnight, right? I won't wake up tomorrow morning and we're trading down at 90k. It could happen, but I wouldn't expect it. So hopefully I do get that time of seeing the exhaustion and then looking for the shorts in the next 1 to 2 days. No rush. It's a swing trade, looking for the potential of coming down to at least the low 90k levels, and maybe we'll consider how strong the move down is. We'll collect profits if we're in that swing short to maybe eye below 89 and even below 87, which we are leaving that liquidity, right? How many we got? It was so interesting to look at the polls that were created in the last couple of weeks, because so many, right? Bear flag, bear market, and we're going to come below 87k and we're going to go down to 70k. I mean, that's still probably on in the next coming months, but for the moment with this structure, right, it's just I do see this on the higher time frame as a correction. Still, this is likely a corrective structure. Okay, so the bullish case scenario would be this wave 1, this wave 2, this being a WXY in your wave 2. This has to be a contracting diagonal, which is in a wave 1, it's very, very low probability. So for something very, very bullish to really rip from here in a wave 3, right? Maybe this is wave 1, 2, another wave 1 and 2, and then it could happen. Regardless, we are looking for a correction at some point after the exhaustion. So the question will be, is the movement down going to be very corrective, right? And we're just looking for another push up. That might be the wave 3. Or is it going to be very impulsive, right? In a 5 wave and a very corrective bounce. And then obviously we're looking for the rollover finally. We're just going to have to go with the waves and the levels and the information that we have locally. But this is high, there's higher probability that whatever's happening in this zone is corrective. Because an impulse, you would have to have a leading diagonal here in your wave 1. And that is not great. Not great. So yeah, I'm actually higher time frame still bearish, kind of bearish, because there is the potential of taking out this low, of course, unless we form a 3-wave down, 3-wave up, and a flat here in the next coming months, and then we just don't take out the low. It's very rangy, and we then go to all-time high. All-time high regardless for Bitcoin, right, in the future, based on this likely being a 3-wave move, because we were eyeing this possibly to be a wave 4, but we stayed around here for too long. We were saying that there was low probability for that in the last few weeks already. Would have been nice for this to be the high and then take out the low. Then you got a solid symmetrical, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the moment we were starting to stretch our legs in this zone, it's like, I'm not too sure about that. This being a wave 4 already. And there was no solid impulse down either. So yeah, we just realized that, this is likely going to range and even has the potential of taking out the local highs. I'm not expecting bull market from here. I'm not expecting bull market from here. But we're going to have to go with the flow, because if we move down correctively, holy smokes, then I would say, guys, you know what? It might be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then if this is very corrective and overlapping in the next couple of weeks, we need to get ready just in case it just ends up flying in a wave 3, right? Something like this, but inverted, right? You start getting very, very powerful moves in a matter of a week. We're gonna have to see with the next correction, with the next move down. Next move down will tell us if it is going to be higher probability to take out the higher lows, which kind of makes sense because the diagonal here in a wave 1 has low probability. So I think the movement down, whenever this is topping out, which we will know in the next couple of days, we will know if the movement down is looking aggressive, and then bounce is going to be looking very, very corrective. And then, we'll be targeting potentially, all of these higher lows. We'll see. But yeah, for the moment, this does look like a either this one or this one. Right, where we have a double zigzag. Double zigzag makes more sense, where you have a zigzag move to the upside, complex WXY in a flat correction, triangle and Y, and then this being the zigzag, which is we are looking for it to come to its end stages. And the 382 Fibonacci from all-time high, it is common for a wave, wave X for a double zigzag, where you have an ABC, WXY, you're hitting the 382 Fibonacci, and then we move down in the next coming weeks, coming months, in another zigzag, which does maybe take us to 70k, even 60k. But yeah, everything points out that this is likely a corrective move when we zoom out, just based on the probabilities that a contracting diagonal here in a wave 1 is low probability. If you can count something corrective, which is the case. It's just like, just a few days ago, we were trying to figure out as well this movement to the downside, right? Do we have a WXY here to the downside? Or do we have a contracting diagonal? And, yeah, you can count a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your wave 5 is smaller than your wave 3. That's all good. Contracting diagonal does fit here nicely. If this were to be a contracting diagonal, you're looking for a lower high and then, moving down. There's no other way of counting a solid motive wave here. A 5-wave structure, right, in a motive wave. There's no solid way. There's too much overlap. There's too much noise. So it's either, okay, this is either a double zigzag or some kind of a 3-wave structure, or a leading diagonal. A leading diagonal has the lowest probability when you're looking at either a wave 1 or a wave A. So, with that in mind, zooming out on the higher time frame, you have a leading diagonal potential count here. But, that has the lowest probability. If this most bullish case scenario is wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, you got another wave 1 and 2 potential here, and then break in a third wave. But if you can count something corrective, which is the case eventually, right? Either this one or this one, they both kind of work for your wave X. Your wave X is just, it can be a massive triangle, it can be a WXY. And this is the same as this movement down, for example, right? Leading diagonal, you're looking for a lower high and then continuation. Or you have a corrective structure here that obviously looks to take out the highs. Leading diagonal did not win, as it's the lower probability scenario, right? So in this case, leading diagonal for big third waves up in the next coming weeks does stand with the lowest probability at the moment, and we're very likely looking for a lower high on here for the price of Bitcoin to maybe crash down later on. We're gonna have to see. Because I would be eating my words, guys, if we move down correctively here. I would say, guys, you know what? Screw that. Leading diagonal it is. Right? Let's look for longs, because I do think that we might break out. So the next movements are very, very important. Will they be aggressive with big volume, or will they be very, very staircasey down, right? Will they be very corrective? And there was some doubts here with this one, but do we move fast here, or do we move like this? We move like this, then bullish. We move like this, then and move up like this, then bearish, right? So kind of explaining it. Fuck it, I shorted. Yeah, I know. It's insane. It's insane how you wanting to short the Pico top or long the lows. For me at the moment, I'm gonna pass. I'm very, very conservative. I'm very I want very, very solid information. But yeah, if you're feeling aggressive, I have no reason. So we did take out the highs. This movement down would look very three wavy. I mean, obviously high probability to take out the highs after this bounce. Increasing volume, what can we say? Anyway, stay safe, my legends. Okay, I don't want anybody getting burnt here. If you are watching my education, 80k was the clear bottom. Do you not use market cipher B? The green dot on the weekly has never failed after being confirmed bullish or bearish. Wow. Brother, you like a puzzle. You basically cover every scenario possible. How do you decide what you're doing? You know, I've got it very simple for the shorts. I have to say, I'm curious about market cipher B, money flow. When do you take? How does money flow, or RSI, or whatever of these crappy indicators, give you the entry and your stop loss and your projections? I know exactly what I'm looking for in the next 1 to 2 days. You know, we need to correct down beneath the previous high of yesterday. That's already going to be a bearish sign to get a move down. I know exactly what I'm looking for here to enter the short. The problem is if you don't understand it or not, that's another thing. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know exactly why it was a bad idea to have a short position on the movement here to the upside and obviously here. But I can tell you that if we do start rejecting here and overlap yesterday's highs, I'm telling you, the dump is likely going to happen. The problem is how powerful this dump is going to be. I don't know how powerful it's going to be, but you know, I will look to be positioned once I get the information that I need. And if we do go higher, I mean, what can I say? We're not in shorts. I'm not in shorts. I'm in longs, and if we don't get the exhaustion, then yeah, up we go. Then the blue diamond, I guess, is correct that this is the bottom and we're going to all-time high. Yeah, you got it all wrong, buddy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it seems like you are new to the channel, my man. This is the thing. I know, my man, I'm sorry. You can you can get lost if you want. I'll tell you what. Yeah, people, you know, if you are going to be here coming to hate and talking BS, then you can get lost. Okay, that's it. I know nobody's going to be talking about the bounce that we mentioned here, right? What about the bounce that we mentioned here? I was looking at this to maybe get in, you know, maybe forming a lower high. It's all about management as well, guys. It's not about predicting the market like with 100% accuracy. It's managing risk. And you know, I'm happy to be in longs from this zone. Yeah, we can speculate on a lower high here, but hey, you get a move up with high volume. I understand the breakout. There's no shorts to be taken. We maintain in longs. You know, you can piss off, right? Staying in long positions and no shorts to be taken. Where were you when we were talking about the long setup last Thursday? regardless if we, it's a small move or we get continuation. Where were you on Monday when we talked about this long, right? Yeah, that guy can fuck off. And that's it. Then why are you guys here? Yeah, anyway, get that guy out of the channel. What can we do? If you don't like it, you can piss off. It's simple, right? Don't come here, you're wrong. Man, screw you. Why come here and tell me, watch the stream from last Thursday about this long. Monday about this long. You watch that stream and have the face to come on the stream and tell me that I was wrong on those trades. That guy can piss off. Every trader is different. If Andy's trial's not for you, then yeah, get out. Cyrus, thank you very much. Sorry about my language, man, because hey, it just pisses me off. You're wrong. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck off. Right? Or not? Chill, haters gonna hate. Yeah, very true. I know. I don't know why I concentrate too much on the haters. But anyway, I won't shut up. It is true. I had to exit from a short that I entered here. But guess what? I exited here. I didn't eat up all of this movement. And that's been posted on the community. So you can short your shorts, says Arya. Don't take it to heart, Andy Gucci. I know, my man. Mohammed, much love. Much love, my man. Vision likes. I know you've been a bit sarcastic here. Andy, you helped me a lot. Thank you. Genuinely. Much love to you. I think people are getting a bit pissed off because I think most of the people have been literally bearish. The market rewards the patient ones. Exactly. And get out. Get out basically when you realize that you need to be very adaptive. I'm very neutral on the market. I can have a favorite scenario, but I understand when I'm wrong and which are the positions that I'm favoring as well. But I think it's natural because most of the people are having the bear market idea, and we are in a bear market. I wouldn't get extremely excited of this pump to go to all-time high in the next coming weeks, right? But I think people are pissed off right now because they literally saw this as a bear flag, people feeling more bearish, people understanding that there is that liquidity pocket in this zone, which, people that, liquidity doesn't mean that we need to hit that liquidity, right? Focusing a lot on the liquidity that we have to the downside. And I think people are just pissed off because maybe people are not managing their trades properly and maybe getting into shorts. And I don't know, what can I say? The shorts that I attempted, I'm out and just riding the longs from last week, basically, and trying to compound and maximize the movement here to the upside. What can I say? And understanding that, hey, I'm getting out of the any short here, which is going against me, and the preserving the capital is the most important, right? I am concerned of people that are literally shorting in the last few days like there's no tomorrow and adding to the position hoping for the rejection. And I've got it clear, you break out the previous high with high volume, yeah, I don't want to have any funny business with any shorts, thank you very much. And if you don't want to understand that, then you can go and watch somebody that's using moving averages and triangles. Andy's a grifter. Vision, yeah, I'm not sure if this guy's being a little bit sarcastic at the moment, but let's get him out. If you are playing or not, I'm not sure. I was taking the few little comments as that you were playing here. It is weird because I don't usually have many haters. I thought this guy was being sarcastic, but Let's kick him out already because he's he can fuck off, right? There we go. Get lost. He's coming a little bit, you know. Ya es un poco cansino. Ya cansas. You know, 1 or 2 comments or 3, but then 5, 6, 7. Get a life. Get a life. Get the fuck out of here, and get a life. Fucking hell. Andy anchored VWAP from all-time high. That is a very interesting one. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, if you are going to be nasty, guys, and not be nice, we are good people here. We are nice to each other. Don't swear. People are a little bit, you know, people that have been very, very bearish are a little bit pissed off. It doesn't matter. You need to adapt to the market. And if you're going to be bad here and swearing, then I'll swear back and I'll kick you out. I have no problem with that. Okay? I'm nice to nice people. I'm bad to bad people. Anchored VWAP from all-time high. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Somebody asking about this. It would be very interesting here to start getting a bit of choppiness, as this is the 4-hourly time frame. But wow, this is very, very interesting that we are at the anchored VWAP right now from all-time high, which we are currently above it ever so slightly. But this is the zone where you want to start getting some rejections, right? On the 15-minute, on the 5-minute, start getting some weakness or exhaustion, right? The higher highs break the previous highs with the decreasing volume, preferably, and it gets exhausted a little bit in this zone, which is not the case. So trying to catch these levels of resistance. Remember, resistance and support levels, they are there to get broken, right? Regardless if we react to them or not. They are there to get broken. And when the market is pushing up with volume and power, you need to be aware with your shorts, right? It's a beautiful anchored VWAP from all-time high. But I want to start seeing signs of rejection, moving up. Is the movement down impulsive or not? Is it corrective? If it's corrective, we look to take out the highs again, right? But then start getting a little bit of a zone here, and then start looking for the swing short. And if not, we pump higher and we hold the long positions, baby. And BTC spot bag is doing nice at the moment. I'm happy that we are getting this rally because I'm still very, very well exposed. My net worth in Bitcoin. I'm just sitting on a bunch of cash that I don't know what to do with when we're looking at investing, because everything's too high. Gold's high, silver high, stocks are high. It's just... And cash loses value, right? It's the invisible tax holding cash long term, right? What's going on today with the what's going on? What's going on here with the comment section today, man? I've literally never seen so much hate on my live stream. It's actually interesting to see these Andy short wrecked, Andy always guessing, you are not happy, Andy lost his money, Andy's a small dude. Yeah, it's interesting, these characters. Andy, you lied. It is the same guy, I guess so. I guess it is. Let's just get him out of here. People are boring. They really are. Interesting that I haven't had a stream with so many bad comments, I have to say. It's the same guy. Just another account. Yeah, anyway. Is the same guy, Andy. Ignore him, bro. I know, but he's just been a little bit noisy here and just, too many comments. I want to go through the comment section and try and answer some good, legit questions, right? Or this altcoin, what do I think about this? What do you think about Bitcoin? We just spreaded the information at the moment, and I have to say, guys, what if we break the highs with high volume, we continue going higher, right? There's no signs of exhaustion. Resistance are there to be broken, and we just go higher, guys. There's literally no analysis to be made here. We just squeeze up and continue the momentum as the breakouts are getting punchy with high volume. Really trying to catch the Pico top at this moment is not great. It's not great, guys. When you're moving up with high volume, it seriously is not the greatest. And just maintain longs. Jumping into longs here is very, very challenging, of course. Jumping into longs is challenging. Preferably you're long at the corrections. So yeah, maintain longs if you have from the last few days. Getting into new longs here is very, very challenging. What can we say? It's the same person, Pathmaria Vallejos. It is. It seems like it is. He's probably going to create another account now on YouTube to just come and spread some hate because he's got nothing else to do. We have these people in this world. What can we do? We can party in Dubai. Absolutely. Why not? It's hard day today. Gonna try a buy from 96,500. Tight stop loss at 96.3. It could be eye-watering incoming. As in the breakout, right? As in continuing to the upside. A rejection down to 96. Yeah, I would really. It depends on how we come down. If we do range and we come down very rangy and corrective, then it's okay to attempt another long, right? When you realize that this is likely corrective. If your movements down are going to be very, very corrective, right? Then it does make sense to maybe look for another long position. But if it is going to get a sharp move down and then a very corrective bounce, that's when you know, instead of moving up, elevator up, staircase down, and then it's the opposite, elevator down, staircase up, right? We look for the rollover eventually. So I guess you guys know what to look for. Andy, not a small dude. He trains and I can see he is lean. He takes care of himself. I'm not sure if you're talking about me or the other guy. Anyway, much love to you. Andy, how is BTC pumping with all the bad news? Geopoliticals. Yeah. Oh my goodness, he did create another account. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're not going to waste more time here. He actually created another account. This is very entertaining. It is entertaining. Andy is huge. Jose, much love. Want to swing? Yes. Low life. Want to swing short Ethereum? I would assume, I haven't been checking these cryptos, these altcoins, but you want to swing short Ethereum. It really depends on Bitcoin. Seriously, I think it really depends on Bitcoin getting exhausted. We need to see Bitcoin exhausted, because if Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does roll over, if Bitcoin has the signs of getting exhausted to then look for the possible short, then shorting Ethereum would be the game. But as Bitcoin gets strength and it just continues pumping, I wouldn't rely on a short on Ethereum based on the levels. I mean, yeah, I would say that Ethereum at this point has a very, very good chance to take out this lower high. We've hit the 0.88 Fibonacci, so not looking at this to be a bearish bounce in a wave 2 or a wave B. It is very, very likely we're going to take out these highs at 3,400. So that is a level that, yes, we could react. It's the 4-hourly time frame, but it is a zone. There's probably a weekly naked point of control from this zone. We already got rejected from that one here. But yeah, kind of an SFP from this lower high is a possibility. But it really depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does continue that strong momentum up, once Bitcoin starts getting exhausted, I think it's going to be sensible to look for a short on Ethereum, because if Bitcoin rolls over, Ethereum likely to follow. I mean, this is why I mainly trade Bitcoin, mainly do analysis and trade Bitcoin, because whatever Bitcoin does, 90% right of crypto usually follows. You're obviously going to have that 10% that have their different lives, such as Zcash, right, in the last few months. But yeah, really considering what Bitcoin does, Bitcoin is the king, Bitcoin is the leader. So yeah. Oh wow, we got created another. Oh my goodness, he's back again, guys. Yeah, back again. Anyway, 1.382 has been hit. Do we roll over? 1.382 has been hit. On what movement here? 1.382. I'm not sure from where you are looking at this. 1.382. Not from this one, from the lows here to the highs to the lows. 1-to-1, 1-to-1 here has been hit from these lows. This is an interesting one, where from this triangle, when you consider the WXY, you have your move up, your correction, and then another move up. 1-to-1 is exactly where we're hitting right now from this wave. From this latest wave, it's now, right now, it's the same length as this one. Interesting zone. I think this price could struggle here a little bit, but I'm not sure which 1.382 you are talking about. 1.382 extension. I know the 382 Fibonacci, we got the VWAP and we got the 382 here coming at the same zone. Obviously 382 is slightly higher than the VWAP, but yeah, as explained, yeah, I'm not taking any shorts here, guys. You know, not taking any shorts for yet. They're looking interesting, but I need a little bit of more information. Overlap yesterday's highs, you know, get that movement down. And then I realized that, okay, even though we broke out with bigger amount of volume here on this latest move, you know, that's it. The biggest move happened here. And that's the moment that we either look for another 4 and another 5, and then it rolls over. So you're going to be a little bit patient here for the next coming days. And there will be a short opportunity. And the short opportunity will likely be taken if I'm awake. And I'll let the community know, of course, as well, if I'm getting into that swing short. So, is there any bearish CVDs? Fifth wave target. Oh, fifth wave target. Shout out Andy, Botcom, much love to you. Fifth wave target. I guess on this latest move you're talking about, right? So when we go through on the fifth wave, but I'm not sure how you are calculating the fifth wave here. From wave 1 to the end of wave 1 to the end of the wave 4. Okay, so that's how, yeah. Wave 5, a wave 5, you know, it can be similar as your wave 1, or get to the 1.618, right? I'm not sure if you're talking about this one. If that might be the one, the extension that you're looking at here. Is that correct? Do you think so? I think so. This is the one. But yeah, this is the problem here, without a doubt, is the increasing volume as explained, okay? Increasing volume. Anyway, got this character giving a little bit of more hate. He's not gonna quit. He's not gonna quit. He's gonna try again and again, right? He is gonna try again and again and again. Buy Fartcoin. It's explosive. I'm interested in seeing all of these meme coins. How are they doing? But just to see where they at. Is Fartcoin going to get an explosive move? Oof. Bottoming out. I'm seriously not that interested. It's interesting that we got to the lows here of 2025 and got a bit of an SFP on the higher time frame, right? So we tested the lows, bottoming out a little bit. Fartcoin. Who's a fan of Fartcoin? Legends, much love to everybody. It's been quite a few hours. No shorts to be taken on Bitcoin with this price action. If we start getting exhausted, shorts could be interesting. We need to at least overlap this pivot, okay? And then we can consider the 4-5s forming here. Signs of exhaustion. We'll be looking for the short in the next coming days. For the moment, hold on to the long from last week, either from Thursday or from Monday. And this is what we do. If you get into a short, you need to cut losses, okay? So for the moment, holding those longs from last week still, and trying to compound and make as maximum as I can. And interested in shorts, but still remaining a little bit patient. If I do see anything myself, Deviled, in the community, remember that you have 30-day free trial in the community, okay?